Loving you is cool, but getting money's the only thing that's on my mind. I don't know what to do but hustle. I be living on the street if I'm not on my grind. I'm doing the best I can. I need you to understand to be on my side. It's a hell of a sacrifice. I'm chasing this cash for life. It's a long, long ride.
It's a long ride, a lot of lonely nights. Might be a lot of fuck-ups before I finally get it right. Shit, I hope I'm worth it, cause shit, you ain't perfect. All them Gucci and Louis purses, I hope you deserve it. Stay down, only weak bitches stay down. We can't afford to just walk away from this pay now. I'm shipping shit through Greyhound, taking out kind of chances. Could be locked up, but you rocked up, living in many mansions. Whole life, gotta get it if it's good. Niggas who get lazy end up back in the hood. If I lost it all, I'd probably lose you. So if it's paper on the table, I can't choose you.
Loving you is cool, but getting money's the only thing that's on my mind. I don't know what to do but hustle. I be living on the street if I'm not on my grind. I'm doing the best I can. I need you to understand to be on my side. It's a hell of a sacrifice. I'm chasing this cash. I did my verse so that's
Testing. All right. You can cut out that other.
Hey, yo, Aim. Yeah. Run it up, Blondo.
Hey, see y'all from Texas, where we should ride in swangers and put diamonds in our neck.
What is up, everybody? Good evening. Happy Friday. Happy whatever you want to call it. But as always, this is HBCU Tonight. You know, it's powered by HBCU Overdrive. Make sure that you like the stream, comment, share. Most of all, subscribe to the channel. Let's see who we got coming up in here. We got Mr. Quay, the head moderator in charge up in here. As always, we got HBCU Band Talk. And of course, he gonna rep his school, Hell Wildcats. We're gonna talk about y'all school tonight. We got Miss Mary representing the 305. Miss Alexander, happy Friday to you. Oh my goodness, Miss Quisha, how you doing? Everybody get ready. Mr. Troy White from Old Men Podcast. I meant to get on there last night, but I was busy at work last night, so we're gonna try to see what we can do on next Thursday. Yes, it is D.I. Love today, D.I. Love tomorrow, D.I. Love forever, but on here it's HBCU versus your mama. HBCU versus nobody, HBCU versus the world, HBCUs versus everybody. So I got to coin all those things, those phrases for the shop, for the hoodies and the t-shirts, because I think I got some, there's some ideas that I want to put out there. You right, them deep people. Yeah, we here. You see how it is. You see what it is. You see what it is, and I know I'm gonna try to get my co-host up here in a minute. In fact, let me text my man. Anyway, first and foremost, let me get this. We had it was a before we get into it with my co-host. There was a content creators convention here in Irving, where I stay at. It was this week, and a lot of creators came through. It was a lot that came through our store, my store where I work at. And it was one guy I got on there who came into the store. I think he was in there. He was in there twice, but yesterday I actually conversed with him. His YouTube name is Eli Mack, and we talking about dude. He's a gamer, so he does this thing on YouTube, Twitch, all the other platforms and stuff like that. But this dude has almost 900,000 subscribers, and I'm like, hey, can you loan me at least give me at least 10,000? Loan me 100,000. Loan me 100,000. But now, man, he was a cool dude. I watched some of his content, and didn't know that he couple months ago, last month or so, he was playing for the Frisco Fighters, which is our indoor football league team here in North in DFW area. And he actually went out there and played a couple of snaps and everything. But I just wanted to say this, man, good chopping up with him. He subscribed to the channel, so I appreciate him for doing that. And hopefully we can go ahead and try to see if we can get some good content, collaborate and try to get some good content. But we was talking about playing Madden. I said, dude, I ain't played Madden since 2018. It's 2024. I had not played that game since 2018. So I'll wait for college football to drop, but it's not compatible with my my game system. But other than that, man, it was cool to see a lot of the content creators come through and have good old conversation while I was at work and everything. Kept me busy, kept me going and everything. But yeah, it was a good one. But other than that, man, you see me, I always represent the Cliff where I'm from. Born and raised at. They got a big game tonight against Duncanville, South Oak Cliff High School versus Duncanville. And I was supposed to go, but my mama called. I called my mom. She's like, I'm on my way to the cabin in Oklahoma. I was like, you know what? What up, Nick? Wait a minute. And don't talk about that game later on. Appreciate you for the countdown timer, man. If y'all don't know, man, besides Nick doing the Twitter calendar and everything, and him having his own show on HBCU Plus, my man is into doing graphic work, and that's what we came with the graphic, and look who decided to drop in. Mr. Ford.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can hear you. All good. Uh-oh. Come on back up, Mr. Ford. But yeah, I was talking about with Nick. So Nick does a lot of graphics. And if you ask him, he hit me up earlier. He's like, make some stuff for you, and it went good.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. I'm sitting there watching your homeboys. I wanted to see I had asked you about SMU size. Look
Oh
like
yeah, 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 yeah. They got some good size on them. I'm watching them. I'm
yeah,
watching them.
you got a bunch of defensive linemen transferred in from other Power Four squad. I think
Hmm.
two of them or three of them from Miami.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and the quarterback is a sophomore. He went to South Oak Cliff.
Okay, number 7. That's 7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I saw him last year. He's electrifying. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's something else, man.
And, so, and I was surprised he was named the captain too. So
Yeah, they playing 2 quarterbacks at SMU.
yeah. And the funny thing is they both played against each other before in high school.
Okay, so where the other kid from?
The other kid he's from Dallas. Parish High School, Parish Episcopal High School is a private school here in the I would say between I wouldn't say Addison, but it's in between Farmers Branch and North Dallas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So,
Right.
but yeah, it was a good game so far.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, I like watching BYU. I just love their formations and their offensive mindset. I used to follow behind that man was named LaVale Edwards, wasn't it? What that old
Mhm.
man? Yeah.
LaVale
LaVale
Edwards.
Edwards. Yeah. Yeah, I always
LaVale
did
Edwards.
like they formation, their way they run their offense.
Mm. Now I'm waiting on for my other guy to come on in. It said he'll be here in a little bit. But what do you think about last week's the games from last week? And just give me your take on them, Mr. Ford.
Okay, now which one? Tell me which one you want me to talk about now. I'll tell you which one.
So let's talk about your alma mater.
Oh,
You
about
Clark
that
Atlanta.
Valley? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Listen, they need to give our Coach Keaton a raise because we ain't never we never beat Fort Valley now. That guy down there that's down in Fort Valley, that guy's good, man. Yeah, y'all don't know. Well, I know about him. He was with Rod Broadway for years.
Right.
He gonna get a bigger job. He gonna get a bigger job.
So I watched the game.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I watched the game, and
Who televised the game?
it was the Griot.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So I watched the game, and all I seen was David Wright just throwing the ball all over the field. On
What kind of size he got? Doc, what kind? Is he 6-footer?
Yeah, he's 6 foot. I think he's like 6'2". Look about good 210, but he
got good size. So he came from where? He came from
Allen. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he came from Allen. And like he was firing on all cylinders. You know, scoring. He threw 7 touchdowns in the game.
Right. They scored 45. Was it 45 points?
45 points.
Listen, we was hollering at the school because let me tell you, Doc. Now you know when I was in school, man. I can't listen, man. They never supported athletic. Well, they didn't support football like they should have, man.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a big deal, man. This is a big deal, dog. I'm gonna get out and try to see him. I definitely want to see him play Albany State, and I want to see him play Miles College, Tuskegee. I'm gonna get. Now I know that they are playing Bethune-Cookman, right?
Right, they are playing Bethune-Cookman. That is in 2 weeks.
That's
they
in
playing on the
Daytona
21st. That's in Daytona.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get out and see him. Definitely.
Yeah, so that game is in Daytona. We can talk about, let's see, Johnson C. Smith defeating Tuskegee. Sunday.
I made a statement on I don't know if it was your show or Mitch Simona's show, and somebody tried to give me some blowback. I'm gonna tell y'all again, Tuskegee program ain't been right since Willie Slater left there. And I'm gonna tell you something. I saw him play. The guy that's the coach. He was a quarterback for Tuskegee for Rick Commages. What's his name?
Aaron James, right?
Let me tell you something. I loved Aaron as a player, but I'm telling you, Aaron gonna be on the chopping block, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something about Tuskegee. They got a lot of tradition, a lot of pride, and getting beat like that in Montgomery, that ain't gonna fly, man. And to Johnson C. Smith, that ain't is not gonna fly. I'm just telling you now. I tried to tell somebody that up one of them shows, and ain't nothing wrong with Tuskegee. Yes, it is. There's something wrong with Tuskegee football. Tuskegee football has gone down since the departure of Willie Slater. I'm telling you.
But I think, but I can't say it was anything bad with Johnson C. Smith because they actually, I mean,
Oh yeah, I like Coach Flowers. I like him too. I like Coach
and
Flowers. But now I'm gonna tell
they,
you something. Tuskegee feel like that no CIAA team ain't supposed to come down there and whoop them like that. Now I'm gonna tell you that now. I know how the people are because they are, Tuskegee folks is all over Atlanta. Okay. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they not happy. They ain't saying nothing because that boy is a graduate of Tuskegee. They not happy. I'm telling you now. They are not happy.
and they surprised, Johnson C. Smith surprised me.
Oh yeah.
They
Well,
surprised me, and
yeah.
that defense is legit. That
Oh, I didn't see the game. I'm gonna have to catch it on YouTube. I didn't see the game. I was
yeah,
yeah. I didn't, I'm gonna have
their
to go in there.
defense is legit. They led all of D2 in total defense last year. So
Oh, Johnson C. Smith did?
mm-hmm.
Whoa. Who's
and that
the DC?
who forgot, Coach Flower. I talked to Coach Flowers a week and a half ago, and I forgot who told me who DC was.
Okay. We just look it up. We'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Okay, they said they just put Clark Atlanta QB on the watch list for the Hula Bowl.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Now you look up Doc. Now I read this. And I read somewhere that Clark Atlanta spending $4 million on sports. Now I'm shocked about that. Now, do you know they do have like 5,000 or 6,000 students? I know that.
Right.
But I was shocked. They said they're spending $4 million on football.
Plus, and then that the turf was, they got the money from Arthur Blank.
Yeah, he donated because he gave Auburn State a new turf, Miles College, Savannah State. Who else was in that? I know it was Clark, Savannah State.
Was it Fort Valley too? I think Fort Valley.
Fort Valley was in there.
I think Fort Valley was in there. I just know I just know it was most of the schools that's within Alabama and Georgia region. You ain't going too much any other place. But
yeah.
But yeah, because Albany State switched their turf from, I think it was grass to they got a blue turf now. So it's all blue with the gold end zones. Of course, Clark got the all red with the black end zone, which
I saw
really
a picture of
want to
Clark.
see it.
Yeah. Now listen, what did Albany State play Valdosta State last week or this week?
They played them this past Saturday.
Okay, you got a report on that? How did they say Albany State look?
Oh, it was a blowout.
What was the score?
40, either 42-10 or 44-10, but I know it was a blowout.
So it was in Albany or in Valdosta?
It was in Valdosta.
Oh, it was in Valdosta. Okay, but did anybody say how they looked? I mean, did they look terrible?
They really couldn't run the ball on Valdosta. Shoot.
Okay.
Uncle Said, what's going on?
Hey, y'all doing all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How's it going, man?
Man, everything's okay, man. Long work week, man. I'm ready to talk about some football, man. I got my picks ready.
That's it,
man.
baby.
Got my pick ready, man. Shouts out to Mr. and Mrs. Body, man, and that young brother Andrew, man. I really hate that for him. Like I said, I was referee 12 years, man. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Mr. Ford died. Them shoulders, man. Once they go bad on you, man, you keep having a shoulder problem, man. That I've seen way too many athletes, man. That's hard, man.
Oh yeah,
that's hard.
Okay.
That's hard. Cause see, when you fix it the first time and then you rehab and stuff like that, get your strength back. But when you knock it out of place again, man, and I just hate it for that young brother, man.
So now, is
You
he gonna
know,
have to have surgery? Is he gonna have to have surgery?
yes,
Yeah, he's
sir.
gonna have to have surgery again.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, every time, with the, because that's those real bad. That's them real soft tissue ligaments.
Right,
And
right.
every time you knock those out, Mr. Ford, you gotta sew them back in.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah, you
okay.
gotta sew those back in.
He's
So
gonna all the way healed. That says something right there.
And I was also told that the other kid, O'Brien, he's out too, right?
he's
Concussion
out.
protocol.
They starting the freshman tomorrow.
That's what, yeah, because I work with a bunch of Alabama. I work. Our school is a black college all star, and I was talking to
Mhm.
their people, and they was telling. Now, does he have COVID?
Who?
No, he's
Oh,
on the other guy's on concussion protocol.
okay, yeah, concussion protocol. Okay, all right, okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
Zach
he
Sims is Zach Sims is the kid that's coming from. He came from Thompson High School.
it was Thompson High School. Sure did.
that's in Jackson.
Mm-mm,
Thompson High School in
mm-mm.
Alabama.
Oh, okay. Now, so what was it? Is he a junior college or he a transfer? What is he?
Freshman.
Oh, he's freshman.
Fresh.
Okay, okay, okay.
Freshman.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they
now
got.
usually in that situation, they probably gonna play two quarterbacks. They'll probably give him a run and then put somebody else in there too. They probably play two, maybe
Well,
three.
that freshman is he a big. He not a small kid. He pretty big. About
Okay,
six four.
oh, he's 6 foot now. Did he win the state last year? I mean, while he was in high school.
Yeah, I think they won state 7A last year.
Okay, okay, okay. I'm
Oh,
gonna
well,
try
Blue
to
said they
tune in.
started. Well, Blue said they started a kid from Florida.
Okay, what's his name?
What's the other kid's name? Well, if that's the kid's
Is it?
name, that's Zach Smith, Zach Sims. That's the kid from Florida. Another kid that's from Alabama. They went to Hayes is he went to Thompson, and then they have a redshirt junior.
Yeah, Nick, you're right, man. Because when I looked at him, when I saw him on film, that young man like a giant. He like a giant. I mean, he tall. He reminds me, the kind of build, kind of like Jacobian,
Oh,
like just some
well,
big old, big, thick, big, thick, but kind of lanky with it though. But
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Was he
yeah,
dual? Was he dual threat kid or what was he? A pocket pass or what?
Well, I mean, he pocket guy. He was, but in that system, they run it at RPO. They run it RPO
Okay,
switch, so they
okay,
run that switch mess too. And that's that RPO. Then you put a switch in there with your scat back getting in the slot, and then you moving it around, and then you trying to open up those B gap running lanes. For a
okay.
QB dive, for a QB pressure, for a QB draw, and RPO on a wiggle route. So they running that mess, and I just don't see it. I don't see it. I just don't
What,
see
what,
it. I
what
think
now they on are they ESPN Plus tomorrow? Where they gonna be shown?
oh, they play Miles tomorrow.
No, I'm saying who's televising the game?
ESPN Plus, I think.
And what's time is the game on?
They got either 5 or 6.
Okay, okay, all right.
So let's see. I'm not going to preview this game because I already know what the outcome is going to be. But I want to get your assessment from Saturday's game against South Carolina State and FAMU, and what do you think?
Well, let me just say this right now, guys. South Carolina State is way ahead of what I thought. And what do I mean by that? You could possibly see a rematch. Okay, I didn't know South Carolina State was that. I thought that it was still some. The only thing to me, I'm gonna be honest with you, that I saw, they don't have them big time wide receivers that Coach Tennisberry usually brings to the table. He usually likes that Shannon Sharp type wide receiver, about a 6'4", 6'5". I didn't see that. And the other thing I didn't see, and I know he's gonna remedy that in the next recruiting class. He usually goes like 9 and 10 deep on that defensive line. I didn't see that. But as far as the overall team, South Carolina State is much ahead of. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, when they went up 18-7, I thought it was their game.
It should have been more than that.
Yeah, I thought.
It should have been more than that. It was a couple, questionable, innuendos in that game, but I'm looking for them this next recruiting class. You better watch out. You better watch out. This next recruiting class coming through South Carolina. You better watch out because actually with this team, and I know it may come as a shock. I know we're not doing our pictures yet, but I gotta talk about this. I'm gonna go ahead and pick South Carolina State to beat the Citadel. It's something about it. It's something telling me that they're gonna beat. I know that the FCS. I get it. But you got to be able to score points. You got to have a sound defense. And now the Citadel has a 3 technique guy that I do like. Love him. He's a run stuffer. He stuffs that B. And sometimes Mr. Ford, he stretches all the way out to the C. This is one guy. He's like he a dog, a super dog. But some telling me that with the sound football that South Carolina State plays, I just think the coaching is a lot better than the Citadel. Right. And this is a down year for the Citadel. I was, looking at the roster. I wasn't too impressed with it. I think in my opinion, man, I got South Carolina State beating them 21-7.
Well, Newt, let me say this about them. I am totally ignorant to Citadel. I hadn't seen a Citadel football game probably in 20 years. So I'm going to have to go with what you say because I'm totally ignorant to the Citadel. I am. What do they call themselves? The Bulldogs? Are they the Bulldogs?
Yep, they are.
Yeah, I haven't. You know what? I'm totally lost on them.
Now, I tell you, Mr. Ford, my favorite D2 quarterback is right in your backyard, man.
Now, which one?
Yes, sir. Mr. David Wright from Clark. That's my guy.
Listen, and I got to get over there to see him. Listen,
man, look at him, man.
We never beat Fort Valley. Let me be honest with you. We never beat them when I was in school. And, Fort Valley, under Doug Porter, and they had a legendary coach before Coach Porter. I don't know if y'all remember. His name was Coach Stan Lomax. He was legendary.
Yeah, Coach Lomax, yeah.
Coach Lomax, yeah. And then they had a guy named Kent Schofield, and who was awesome. He had come from, he was a FAMU graduate. He was awesome at Fort Valley. But listen, when one thing Clark has never, we don't beat Fort Valley now. We don't beat Fort Valley. So listen, I got to pay attention to him because we beat Fort Valley. Because we never beat Fort Valley and we don't beat Albany State.
Well, in the game tomorrow, you got Allen tomorrow. I think Allen. Yeah, that's right. Allen. They still trying to gel a little bit. And but whether you're trying to gel or not, I'm just sorry right now. If we ain't talking about Fort Valley, Albany, Virginia Union, which is the number 1 D2 in my opinion, and I don't even think it's even close. It's not even close.
They might go in there and beat Hampton. Don't they play Hampton tomorrow?
Yeah, I got them. I got them. Whooping.
They might beat Hampton.
No, I got them whooping Hampton. I got them whooping Hampton. Yeah, I got them 45-7. Yeah, I think they're going to whoop them.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, come on.
So I got something to tell you. So last weekend, them Creekside Indians from Fairburn.
Yeah.
They was here in Texas. They was in DeSoto.
Did they get beat up?
They got beat to sleep.
I know it. Cause listen, now is DeSoto trying to win a national championship, or is that Duncanville? Who's going for the national championship?
The crazy thing, both of them, they in the same district.
Top 5.
Yeah,
And
Uh,
both of them top 5 in the country. Both of them top 5 because I think I looked at the rankings. DeSoto was like number 3, and Duncan was like number 5.
that's
oh
them
my God.
every year.
That's
That's them
crazy,
every year.
man. And
Yeah.
I,
how far are those schools from each other?
so so let me tell y'all this. The way that they have our district set up is district 11-6A. It is Duncanville, and we all on Beltline. So we got this little highway called Beltline Road. So
Mm-hmm.
Heard of
Duncanville
Bitline.
is on one part. Then you have Cedar Hill, which is in the middle, and then you got DeSoto right next to Cedar Hill. So all of us, and then if you really go down, you really want to go down there, you go across 35 on Beltline or on Pleasant Run, and you in Lancaster. And so we all run on the same deal. So Duncanville, Cedar Hill, DeSoto is like probably like a 10-mile stretch.
Wow.
DeSoto and Cedar Hill is pretty much 3 miles apart. But we didn't play each other. So this is the whole thing. DeSoto always been a 5A school. When I was in high school, we was a 4A school. We didn't play each other until after I graduated. And then they didn't want to put DeSoto in our district because they was looking at it for travel logistics because they put them in a school. They put them in a district with all East Texas teams. And I'm talking about they had to go to Longview. They had to drive to Marshall. They had to drive to what's the other place? Tyler. So they had to drive all I'm just saying. At the same time, I'm like, we all in the same row and we all play each other. They just added Lancaster in our district this year during realignment. Plus, we got a Pleasant Grove School in Skyline that's in our district too because they don't have nowhere else to go because Skyline is the third largest school in the state of Texas. We talking about 4,700 kids, and it's a magnet
It's
school.
4,700 at the school.
4,700 at school because it's a
That's
magnet.
a college.
It's a magnet school.
That's larger than places like Alcorn and Valley.
Right. And then just think about this. Allen, which is y'all know Allen, it's north of Dallas. It's on 75. It's like going towards Oklahoma. They have 7,000 kids. And it's a one high school town, in which I don't think they'll never change that for anybody.
And they got 4,000 kids too. How many they got at the school?
At Allen, 7,000.
So that's got to be one of the largest high schools in the nation, right?
Yeah.
Good God. 7,000 kids. I don't even think everybody know everybody. That's cool.
No, you can't.
But they have it separated. They got a freshman center that has like 2,000 kids over there.
But Doc, that means you got 5,000 kids in the upper class. I mean, they don't know each other like that.
No,
there's no way. No, there ain't no way.
Y'all can have them kind of high schools. I don't know. You can have that.
They were. I'm meant to tell you, they came here to Dallas, and DeSoto sent them packing with a 70-point ass whooping.
Yeah. Now they listen in this area right here. It's Creekside. I think is 3. Langston Hughes is 1. No, Creekside might be 2. Langston Hughes is 1, and then maybe Westlake. Westlake is down. They got a new head coach. A lot of the kids left the program. So, yeah, I can believe they took that whooping, though.
How is Benjamin E. Mays doing these days?
I think they got a new coach, too. Their enrollment is down. That's where my wife and her sisters and brothers went. They went to Benjamin E. Mays.
Okay. I got a couple cousins. I got a couple cousins. That's where they went. They from Atlanta.
My wife went. My wife came out in '83. She came. Matter of fact, one of the girls that my wife graduated from high school with, She was on the AKA line with Kamala Harris at Howard.
At Howard. Oh wow.
Yeah, they were AKA sisters. They were on the line together.
Oh wow.
Gail Danley. She's I think she's at the university. She works at the University of Maryland or I think it's Maryland. She's at the University of Maryland, but she's AKA.
Don't worry, EA. We'll bring her DeSoto. We can bring her. We'll bring her Duncan.
No,
we'll
EA. No, EA. You don't want that.
We'll bring any Texas team to Florida. We ain't scared of y'all. Come on.
No, you don't. EA. I don't think. Maybe EA hadn't heard that they ranked number 3 in the entire nation. In the nation.
Yeah,
not just in the United States of America. They number 3 overall, man. No, you don't want none of that.
And the big
every year.
And the big guy, the big kid, Byron Washington, Big Byron. He just committed to Syracuse.
Okay, where's this kid at? Where's Watson at?
Washington. Oh, DeSoto.
Oh, he's at DeSoto. Okay.
Yeah. 6'8", 360. Yeah.
Oh,
the big kid. Yeah. Hey, we not scared to go play anybody.
I imagine so.
The coach at Syracuse. Now, remember, he was at the University of Georgia last year.
He was. He's gonna do a good job.
Yeah, I think
he's gonna do a good job.
Yeah. They got a big game tomorrow. They got Georgia Tech, I think, in Syracuse.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
he stole Schaefer. He stole Schaefer from Mississippi State, the quarterback.
Oh, he did?
He did. Sure did. He stole him.
Well, listen, I got to be turning back and forth because my big game at 12 tomorrow is Texas, Michigan, and then I'm gonna keep turning back watching Georgia Tech and Syracuse. So I got 2 games to watch at 12 o'clock slot.
We got Miss Whitley tell you hello, Mr. Ford.
Hey, Miss Whitley. And by the way, what's TFO doing? He was losing. He done lost that first set?
Who? Oh, talking about tennis?
Yeah. Did he lose the first set? Yeah.
I don't even know. I ain't watched.
I know he was losing one. Let me hold on. I said.
Let's see. We got. Let's go back to the review from last weekend.
Right. Okay.
Grambling versus Louisiana. How do you feel about that, Mr.
You know, I told you we ain't ready for that. But let me tell you something. Listen, I ain't got no reservation that Coach. His brother's name is Vance. What's his name?
Which one?
What's the coach at Grambling's name? Mickey Joseph.
Mickey Joseph.
Mickey gonna get us right now. I ain't even worried. I'm not worried. Now, like I told y'all about Chennisberry, I'm tell you the same thing about Mickey Joseph. Beat them this year now. Beat them this year. Because all bets is off after this year. Go on and beat them now. Go ahead and beat them.
He no nonsense, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And can recruit. And listen.
Yeah, he's a riverboat. We call him old riverboat gambler.
And let me say, now I know y'all want to make jokes about Dooley, but Dooley can recruit too now. Dooley can recruit.
He can't.
Well, I never made jokes about Dooley. I leave that to them Southern people. I just, to me, this just my own opinion on it. I just can't understand how somebody may have in their mind a down year, but every time that man was on the sideline, no matter how you got there, you got to the championship.
He got you.
So I mean, I don't get it, but shouts out to the Noops of the world, and I mean, he got a $900,000 check for free.
Oh yes, he did, baby. They paid him.
Yes,
sir.
So now, but Mickey Joseph is no nonsense. I asked him about how you gonna take some pressure off of Miles Crowley. He's like, shoot. Miles don't need no pressure taken off of him. He needs to have the pressure on him. I was like, oh, he a real one now.
Oh, yeah.
I said, I was on the coach's call. I said, you know what? He's one of my favorite coaches now. He's one. I didn't get to talk to him during Swag Media Day, but on that call on Tuesday, I was like, oh, he a real one. He one of my favorite ones right now.
Well, I will say this, though. Go ahead, Mr. Ford. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this: if Brian Kelly don't get himself together down there, you're gonna see an exodus of a lot of them LSU players coming to Grambling because a lot of them kids are connected to Mickey Joseph. Because Brian got about 2 more stupid things to say, and he gonna find himself being run out of Baton Rouge because he acting real silly right now. He better get over it. Because I'm gonna tell you, I have a lot of respect for Brian. I know Brian. Now people don't know this. Brian actually started on the Division II level. He went all the way from Division II to I think he was at Grand. Was
He
it
was at
Grand
Grand Valley.
Valley?
He was at
Grand
Grand
Valley
Valley
State.
State.
Didn't
Then
he
he
go to
went to Grand.
Cincinnati?
Then he went to Cincinnati. Then he went from
Cincinnati,
Cincinnati to Notre
Notre
Dame, and from
Dame,
Notre
and
Dame
now,
to
yeah,
LSU.
he got to kind of cool out because see, he got what's his name them on him right now. Feinbaum and all them is after him, and anytime the media get after you, got to cool out. You can't be
But
making
see,
them
he's
crazy
fine. He done
statements.
found out. He's
Everybody.
also found out that the SEC ain't no joke, especially the
Yeah, it
SEC
ain't no joke.
West.
It ain't no.
It ain't
But
no
the thing
joke.
I don't understand about Brian is why all of a sudden he don't know how to get a defensive squad together. Because he always had good defenses.
But he got the best linebacker in the country, and I don't know what he is doing out there. Like for real.
They
Yeah,
got him out of
I can
position this
understand.
year.
He got him out of position. Like you
Like I
had
said, he needs to cool out. He need to cool out and
Yeah,
get himself together. Because if he don't, them people, I'm Feinbaum, them gonna run him out of Baton Rouge. I'm telling you now.
yeah,
so
yeah. You gotta respect Fine. I don't like
Oh yeah.
Feinbaum,
I don't know, but I know what he's doing.
but when you get on his hit list,
Oh yeah.
it's over with.
Yes, it is.
as
Baby. Yeah, baby.
you want to be on that hit list. Your thoughts on Prairie View versus Texas Southern from
I saw
Saturday?
that game. I watched it, and let me tell y'all, the reason I got to apologize about that Texas Southern situation is because of this. That guy Chris Dishman and his staff, they got that team organized and they got that team disciplined. And when you come into the SWAC like that, you're gonna win some games. Now, to me, the game I saw right now, Texas Southern is better than Prairie View. Now, I think Prairie View is gonna get better, but right now, Texas Southern is better than Prairie View. Legitimately, not just that one game. Their program is better. Because I'm telling you, Dishman got them organized. Because I was watching. I was trying to see, he's got any discipline problem. Are they organized? Listen, they are organized, and he got a top-rated staff too. He got a nice staff.
What do you think
And
about the decision to go with KJ Cooper instead of Jace Wilson?
That boy KJ Cooper gonna be nice, man. I watched him. He gonna
he
be
brought
nice.
him with him.
That's about 6'5", and was that what is that
6'0",
6'4",
Yeah, about
6?
6'4".
Yeah, he gonna
Yeah,
be
but
nice, man.
he just, Coach Dishman brought him with him, man, and
So where did he come from?
Let me see, because
Is he a junior college kid?
I think he is. Let me make sure.
I don't know. I don't know. But I
Listen,
know
guys, I was impressed with him.
Coach Dishman is doing his thing, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna be honest with
yeah,
you,
man. Because
because
I was cool with them last year.
if Prairie View and Alcorn doesn't hurry up and find a quarterback, they might run into a buzzsaw.
Hey, man, I'm telling y'all now, man.
They might
We
run
gonna hear.
into a buzzsaw.
We gonna hear from. We gonna hear from Texas Southern because they've gone back to the basics. And in the SWAT,
Yeah,
when you go back to the basics, you win.
So
yeah,
KJ
and
Cooper,
they're good in trench play. They're
Yeah, but I'm
they're
saying that
very
they're going back to the
disciplined. They
basics. Yeah,
very disciplined. They didn't have that
yeah.
many penalties. I think they only had like 3 penalties the whole game. That's
I was
discipline. That's
impressed.
sound football.
Yeah, they're
so
going back to the
so
basics.
so KJ Cooper, 6'5", 215. He's a junior, transferred from El Paso, Texas, but his last school was Minnesota State.
Oh, okay,
Oh, well,
okay,
there it is.
okay,
Well, that's your
okay,
answer. That's your
okay.
answer.
Well, I think he's got that. So he's got what, 2 years eligibility left for what? How many years?
He got 2 years left.
Oh, they're gonna build around him. They're
Yep.
gonna build around him. Because
Give me a
everything I
second. Let
saw,
me
I
let
liked
me
him.
answer Mr. Haynes' question. I saw it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
As far as in my opinion, with an FCS playing a D2 school, I can agree with that as far as the Division II school getting money. But the only drawback with that is it just depends on the type of FCS school, in my opinion. Because I know the HBCUs probably won't be able to do that. You know,
What was
if
the question?
anything, he stated that, you know, with FCS schools playing Division 2 schools,
Uh,
should the Division 2 schools get a money game check? And you know, like I said, it just depends on which type of FCS school. If they're playing someone like a North Dakota State, yeah,
okay.
yeah, you know, I would agree with that. But you know, in the HBCU space, I mean, let's just be real and honest. I don't think that will be feasible for them to do. But I do think that if they invited them to, let's say, like a home game or something, let's just say Jackson State, for instance, I think, you know, in all fairness, I think it should be like maybe a 75-25 split. You know, like, hey, we'll give y'all 25% of the ticket sales, you know, something like that. But, you know, as far as within the HBCU space of the FCS, I can't see that happening. But, you know, if you go against some of the larger, you know, institutions, you know, the hell, you can go North Carolina A&T, you know, the people that actually have the money to do so. I'm in total agreement with that, agreement with that. But you know, right now, as far as money and payout, let's kind of let this year kind of flow by a little bit, because you know they're still in litigation, although the settlement has come through, but they hadn't released the actual funds yet, as far as you know the
I knew not,
reparations.
not
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, Mr. Ford.
Go ahead, Mr. Ford. I'm listening.
He probably got a call. Yep, he got a call. Yeah, that state paying. We paying Lane College, but we probably paying like $75,000 just to come from Jackson, Tennessee, to come down to Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, I mean, but see, like I said, it also depends on the size of that D2 school, which we all know that, you know, Lane is, you know, it's not big at all. So I mean, yeah, I mean, Jackson State can pay that, but you know, when you thinking about, you know, teams like the Virginia Unions and stuff like that, eh, nah, is you know, you would have to do a split. But like I said, as far as this year, let's let this year pay, you know, kind of play out, because those first payments begin in December. You know, as far as the disbursement of all the funds to, you know, each said institution. So we'll
can you
just see
hear me
how it
now?
plays out.
Yeah, we can hear you
Yes,
now.
sir.
I know you
Yeah,
had a
I
call.
was just all I was saying that one of the things they doing in the back rooms is to make sure they don't get an HBCU a dime. They trying to make sure we don't get into that money now, because like you said, it's going
That's
to be
why
a
they keep
payout.
they in litigation. Yeah, they in
Right,
litigation about it, because it was already approved. But then when the HBCU spaces came out and said, okay, where is ours too? Then
right.
now they put it back into that reserve and saying, okay, we got to figure this out and all that. And
Oh
like you
yeah.
said, Mr. Ford, they didn't have us calculated in there at
Mm-mm.
all.
But not,
At all.
historically, you know, the NCAA has always tried to dog out HBCU. Initially, when they formed the NCAA, they didn't want nothing to do with black schools. Nothing. We had to, if we were going to do a white thing, we had to go NAIA.
That's true.
Eventually, they let us in, but initially, they didn't want nothing to do with us.
That's true. Because
Uh-uh.
they'll tell a kid in a minute, well, we have plenty of state schools you can go to.
Yeah. So
You
if
know,
anything they can do to keep from giving us a dime, that's what they're going to do.
that is correct. That is
That's what
correct.
they're going to do.
So let's go ahead. Let's get to these. Let's get to the preview and these picks.
Okay.
All right.
So we're gonna start off in the CI. Well, let's start off in the CIAA because they got some
I'm
good
rolling with
games, but because it's a mix of CIAA and MEAC, so we got a mixture of both. So Let's talk about Virginia State taking on Norfolk State. Virginia State did beat Norfolk State last year.
And might do it again this year.
That game was close.
Yeah, might do it again this year.
Can we
That guy's good, man. Frazier's good.
Let's put some respect on. Let's call him what his title is. Dr. Henry Frazier.
Dr. Henry Frazier.
Dr. Henry Frazier.
That's right.
I think, as they say, Coach Odom, Big Worm, whatever you want to call him, I'm going to go because I just think right now Romello Williams is in his bag. He's in his bag for Virginia State. I like his size. I like his pocket presence. I like the way he's a dual threat guy. Now, the only thing, my drawback with Virginia State is the trench play. It's going to have to be up to par because we know that Norfolk does have trench play. They do.
Yeah.
They got some cows on that offensive line. They can move now.
Yeah.
They can move.
Yeah.
They can actually move. But
yeah.
Me personally, I'm gonna go with Dr. Frazier, like you guys say. I'm gonna say 28-21 Virginia State over Norfolk. And I'm also going to say that this is Coach Odom's last hoorah.
Yeah, I think so. No, but what I was getting ready to say that the biggest problem that I saw is that he won't allow them to be balanced. Like I told him before, throwing 9 passes, that's ridiculous.
And then the crazy part about it, Mr. Ford, your quarterback completed 7, and then the other two were drops.
Yeah.
So
that's the problem I got with him is that he does not believe in balance. Because what I saw, they should be a 60-40 team. They should be throwing about 60% and running 40%.
No doubt about it. But I think when they lost Otto, I think his trust as far as the quarterback position. But the guy that I saw playing a QB, he was not that bad.
No,
not
he wasn't.
To me.
I liked him.
He's actually better. To me, he's better than Southern's quarterback, Biden. He's better than PV's quarterback. He's better than Alcorn's quarterback. He's better than Valley's quarterback. Why wouldn't you go with him? I'm gonna ride that horse. And then he's not. He was. And Mr. Ford, Doc, he wasn't a small kid either.
No, he was about
6'5", 230.
Yeah.
He was a big kid. So I'm like, I didn't get that. I don't know if Dawson Odom's. I'm not trying to make a shock value statement, but I'm gonna make this statement. In my opinion, I don't think that Odom's want to be there. I think he wants to come down south again. What do you think about that?
Or do you think?
Well, I don't think he's gonna have a choice. I don't think he's gonna have a choice. Yeah, it's gonna be a move made because to me, now one thing about it, he's one of them defensive coaches. To me, he got that defense coordinator mindset. He wants to control the ball. He really doesn't want to throw it. He wants to run every play, and that's not gonna work.
Y'all see this? Y'all see this? Mr. Jackson said, "Who gets the Jeff Fisher Coaching Award for the SWAC and the MEAC?"
Well, we know Odom's get it in the MEAC, but
it might be Eddie Robinson. It might be Eddie Robinson.
Well, I think we have 2 of those, Mr. Ford. I think it's looking like Eddie Robinson and Bubba McDowell.
Ooh.
Bubba McDowell, because it's no way that a team you beat 10 straight times come in and just dog walk you like that with a first-year coach, first-year quarterback. Don't nobody know who these kids are. You don't have, 3, 4, 5-star talent on this team, but they're well coached, well disciplined. And I just think that Texas Southern has given the SWAC the blueprint on how to beat Prairie View too, because they run that baseline stuff all the time. A good 7 front, on defense, and then let your defensive backfield do what they do, and then on offense they trying to just bully you. But I mean, Texas Southern was bullying them. So I mean, I think the blueprint is there. I was very shocked. Because I actually picked PV to win the West. Based on based on what Bubba McDowell has been accomplishing these last couple of years. But it's a such thing called coaching as well. When people
Hey,
figure you out, man.
and
So
shout out to Danny Green for Texas Southern coming from South Oak Cliff High School as a freshman running for 81 yards, almost had a 100-yard game on Saturday. Shout out to Danny Green out there, man. Woo.
So who does Texas Southern play next?
Texas Southern goes down the road to the medical district and plays Rice.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about this. Johnson C. Smith versus Morehouse College. I think this game is in New York. I think this game is in.
I thought they were playing Howard in New York.
Are they playing Howard in New York?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're playing Howard in New York.
Yeah, well, Johnson C. Smith is taking on Morehouse. Another SIAC CIAA matchup.
That's a win for the CIAA. That's a win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Johnson. I'm gonna go with Johnson C. Smith. I like their quarterback. Mr. Ocean, Darius Ocean. I like him. I think he fits the team chemistry. I think he does well for what Johnson C. Smith, what they're trying to do. I kind of watched them the other day, and they were pretty balanced, man. They were kind of balanced on offense, balanced on defense. No, they're not on the Virginia Union level, but they're a great solid team. Yeah, they're getting there. I mean, they're getting there, but right now, see, Virginia Union, man, like I said, I sat there and watched that game last week, man, against Kentucky State. Mr. Ford. Man, they were playing. They played 6 running backs last week. 6.
Right.
They played 6 running backs, man, and they played like 8 receivers.
Let's give this man.
Hey, is Joe Taylor still the AP at Virginia Union?
I do know. I haven't checked. You might have to talk to Blue on that one. But let's give respect to this man's name right here, Dr. Alvin Parker.
Yeah.
From Virginia Union.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy the fact that he played Jada Byers. Jada Byers had 211 yards on 14 carries and 3 touchdowns, Mr. Ford.
Mm-hmm.
He only played 3/4 of the game.
Yep, and his backup had about 77 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So is he the best running back in black college football?
As of right now?
Yeah.
As of right now, yes, sir.
Yeah,
as of right now.
Yeah. And it's his last year too.
Yeah.
It's his last year too.
Okay.
And and it's safe to say he's the best player overall D2.
Okay.
Not even close. So I think, when you got a close one, my favorite guy, Mr. Wright, I hope he ain't one and done. I hope he keep it up. But Byers, I think he would turn out to be one of those stories, kind of like the guy, may rest in peace, like the Jacoby Jones. Like I could see him going, to some type of HBCU combine, and then, get like a free agent deal. And I think he'll go all the way up to the final cut and possibly make a team.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has those type of skills. He reminds me a lot of the guy that my team, the Bears, although he was going to make the team, but he got hurt. Ian Willer from Howard. Mm-hmm. He was gonna make our 53. I mean, that boy was killing in preseason.
Right.
But
he was gonna play. He was gonna get as a returner, wasn't he?
Well, we was gonna have him as the 3rd string running back.
Oh.
We was gonna have him a 3rd string running back. That young man had 7 touchdowns this preseason. Yeah, he had 7. He had 2 games that he had at least 2 touchdowns. Yeah. He was doing his thing, but the last game he tore his ACL, fluke play. Offensive lineman fell on him. Yeah, fluke play. Fluke. I mean, it was a fluke play. And actually, he got up and walked up off the field, and then, but then he kind of, fell down when he got on the sideline, and
Oh yeah.
that's when he popped it.
Just talked about Virginia. Oh, first of all, let me give a shout out to Morehouse. Even though they did not win the game, they did score 2 safeties in the last game in their first game against Edward Waters. But at some point in time in the game last week, Morehouse was only down by 3. It was 14-11. And then Edward Waters just came and scored the last two touchdowns of the game, put the game out of reach. That's it. And and it was a debut of Terrence Mathis as head coach.
Yeah, I mean, and then you got you have. I mean, although I talk my noise about him, but you do have Hugh Jackson there, getting them equipment, and he brought his connections there. They got new uniforms this year. They field house look better, all that type of stuff. So I mean, I think they'll never be the Morehouse of old. Back when they had Denzel's son. That Morehouse team. Remember that
John
team
Davis.
when he
John Day Washington.
John David, man.
John Davis.
He was a bad man, but I think like I said, they got some great pieces in play. They got great administration there, of course, because hey, it's Morehouse. So but I do like that the AD has given them the autonomy to kind of change things around, but they're gonna run into a buzzsaw, unfortunately, this Saturday with Johnson C. Smith. I mean, I think it'll be about 42-7.
Then we talk about Virginia Union versus Hampton. I just want to see how much Virginia Union is going to put on Hampton. I want to see how much that Union puts on Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And Hampton got an interim coach also, right?
Yeah, they got an
Yeah.
intro code. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get into the SIAC. So the big matchup for the SIAC is Allen versus Clark Atlanta in Atlanta on the new field, on the new turf. So I want to see what Clark is going to do. I just want to see what David Wright is going to do. Cause
What time is that game?
that game is in the afternoon because y'all don't have no women. Y'all do have lights there, do you?
Yeah, they have lights. But they usually play during the day.
Let's see. This game is at 1:00 tomorrow.
Okay.
Allen's coming in. This is their first game of the season. We just trying to see what they got. But
Yeah, sorry about that, man. Man, Virginia Union 56-7. 56-7.
damn.
56-7. From what I saw, Mr.
Wait a minute,
Ford.
they're gonna beat Hampton. You said they're gonna beat Hampton?
56-7. 56-7. Yeah. But see, Mr. Ford, you gotta understand Virginia Union offense is explosive, right?
They also
That's not even they got a quarterback, right? Their defensive line can compete in the SWAC in the MEAC.
Okay.
They defensive line, they got a guy, I think number 9, I want to say, a 93. Big guy, big nose tackle, man. Jesus Christ. He had 4 sacks.
Now where's he from? What's his bow?
He from Hampton. He's from Hampton.
He's from Hampton.
Hampton, Virginia. Hampton, Virginia. He played the same high school Allen Iverson played at.
Okay.
At Bethel.
Played at Bethel.
So we got Clark, like I said, Allen versus Clark Atlanta. So Clark debut on the field. Allen is their first game of the season. So there's a lot of the side first games is this weekend. I don't know what to say.
I'm gonna run with my favorite quarterback besides Jacoby and Morgan. Mr. David Wright, the man that had 423 passes. 423 yards versus 7 touchdowns last week. I'm thinking he's going because they already done played a week 1 game. Well, I guess week 0. Actually, no, that was week 1. I think they're gonna be ready to roll. I think that train gonna keep rolling. I got them beating Allen. Although I like Allen, I like their coaching staff. I think they got a couple young guys on there as well, a couple old heads too. They got a great mesh of a coaching staff. But I'm gonna ride that right train, man. I'm gonna ride it on that. I got them winning 42-21.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
And David, David Wright gonna give me 6 touchdowns again.
Right.
So and let's talk about this. Well, I don't know too much about Florida Memorial right now because this is their first game tomorrow, but it's the Big Cat Classic. That's Edward Waters versus Flomo. I think this game. I don't know if this game is in Miami or if this game is in Miami or if it's in Jacksonville. But I have Edward Waters win this game by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think Edward Waters is going to be heard from in the SIAC now. I think they're going to do some things.
I think so too. They actually got a guy that transferred in from Georgia State and running back, and he's pretty good. So I think he's gonna carry them as far as they can go. I agree with you guys. I think Edward Waters is on the come up. They look totally different from that one time I saw them against Jackson State. They've been building slowly but surely. But I think they're gonna do well. But they'll definitely beat Florida Memorial. They'll definitely beat.
Listen, that whole area, that's Jacksonville, right?
Duval, yes it is.
Yeah, it's so many athletes down
Duval.
there. Duval.
Yeah,
And then how far is Orlando from Jacksonville?
Oh, that's the other side.
Orlando from Jacksonville, that's in the center. So that's I think it's like 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
There's a lot of athletes in that Orlando area too.
And then, Florida Memorial down in Miami. So
yeah, that's that. Down there, Orlando, you got St. Pete, you got, Orlando, you go up to Tampa, Brandon, that area, all that stuff, and in between Coolwater, it's a bunch of great athletes, stretching that little hour and a half long stretch. So especially in the Orlando area, they got great talent.
Florida has 22 million people in there, 23.
You about right, 22, 23 million folks.
Yeah, they listen. They got enough athletes for everybody in the country.
I didn't have this on the list, but this Shaw is taking on Albany State.
Man, I got to roll Albany Road. That is my pick this year. Mr. Ford, I said it's going to come down to Fort Valley and Albany State. I think Albany State has the goods this year. Now that Thanos is gone out of the conference, I think now is their time. I think it's Albany State's time. I really do. I like what they're doing down there. They got some great athletes down there. They got a well-coached team. Offense is good. Defense is even better. They got a kicker that can kick, 50-yard field goals on the D2 level, which is great. That's my pick, man. And I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with Albany this year. Don't let me down, Albany. For any of you Albany State fans out there, don't let me down.
Win the SIAC?
Yep. They did. But Fort Valley is Mr. Ford. They high on their heels. Fort Valley is a beast.
Oh yeah,
they're a beast.
And the Gibbs, what's the guy's name in Fort Valley?
Coach Sean Gibbs.
Yeah, he runs a good program.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would say Shaw kind of surprised me last week when they played Elizabeth City. But this is a good matchup. This is at 5 o'clock tomorrow. That's on ESPN Plus too. I don't want to talk about this game right here, but it's Virginia Lynchburg versus Livingstone College. Sean Gibbs about to put 80 on these dudes.
Yeah, yeah, he gonna probably start running the ball second half. And it'll still probably score about 4 touchdowns. Easy.
Don't
Yep.
don't let this team get at least 60 points on in the first half, because word on the street from last weekend when Alabama A&M played Auburn,
Mm-hmm.
they had cut this time down to 10-minute quarters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Running
legal
clock.
now. Yeah,
Running
that's
clock.
legal. Yeah, that's legal now. Yeah, that's legal now. If you get if a team, the new rules are for this year, if a team has 0 points and you are up at least 8 touchdowns, then the second half, that's a legal rule now that you got a 10-minute third and a 10-minute fourth, but it's all running clock. So whether you run in bounds or stay in bounds, the clock will continue to run.
We
That is
saw
correct.
this, and it was in play last week against A&M. Also, it was in play a week and a half ago against Stephen F. Austin played against dang, who should they play against? All I know is they just beat them to sleep. They had a
Yeah,
running clock in the
Ole
second
Miss. Yeah, Ole Miss did the same thing to Townsend last week because they had 56-0, well 52-0 at the half, and they just went on and ran the clock third and fourth. But still, Ole Miss still ended up with 76 points
half. Mm-hmm.
even after
So
that. Yeah,
So we got no, Nick, you're not the only one that feels like D2 is a little bit more exciting than D1, because I'm on the D2 train too.
And speaking of Ole Miss, is this the best they've had it since that old man Vault?
oh,
Is this
this
the
it.
best
This the best team. This it. This
since
is it.
since Coach Vault them right back in the '60s?
Yes, sir. This is it.
That's what I was thinking too.
Oh,
They
But
got
they
they got
yes, I,
they got
I,
they
I
got to
forgot
train.
about
They got
Pine
to
Bluff,
start. They
Arkansas.
got that all Big Ten first team all Big Ten strong safety that came from Minnesota. He's on that team.
yeah,
I
He was
forgot
second
about
team. He was second team All American last year too.
I forgot about Pine Bluff and Arkansas last week. Last
Yeah,
Thursday. Yeah, they had a running clock in the second half too.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. That's a
Uh,
universal rule.
yep. So we got let's see, you got what other schools we got up here? Chowan at Elizabeth City State. Chowan's first game this week. Bowie State and Lenore Ryan. Both of their games are this is their first game for the season. So that's gonna be some good ones, but you can't see it if you ain't got Flow Sports.
Yeah, no, you can't see those games. They don't show them down south.
um Fayetteville State versus UNC Pembroke. That should be a good one right there too. So I um going down the road, Winston-Salem is going to North Carolina A&T. Word on the street is A&T has a sellout crowd, and this is the only time they're gonna sell out, other than Jiho.
G-Ho. Yeah, you forgot about G-Ho. They gonna sell out G-Ho. They'll be way down there in DC. Big way up there in DC going to G-Ho. Yeah,
um, but I'm not gonna say anything about this. I just feel like A&T will win this game right here. It'll be
they should.
convincingly.
They should.
Um, Other than that, that's pretty much it on the CIAA side, because it's a CIAA side matchups and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Let's go to the MEAC,
Hmm.
and the game of the week for the game of well, not my game of the week, but one of the games that I'm looking forward to see, but we can't see it because it's on Flow Sports, is Morgan State versus Towson.
Oh man,
The battle of Greater Baltimore.
I have an upset alert. Upset alert. Although now Townsend does have that kid Doss. I like him.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, the quarterback, I remember him playing at UMass last year, and UMass actually upset somebody last year. The guy by the name Carlos Davis, that's his name. Carlos Davis. They got him. They got him starting this year for Townsend. But I'm gonna just go out on a limb, man. That's the '85 Bears, man. That defense is the '85 Bears, man. Mr. Ford, when I say you don't know who finna hit you, you don't know. I mean, I saw I saw some replays on YouTube the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had a corner on the island. He was matched up against the receiver. He jammed the receiver. The receiver fell down. He ran straight to the quarterback and sacked him. I hadn't seen anything like that since the SEC. I mean, they just remind me of the '85 Bears. They front seven is strong. They deep. Uh, they got some of the best corners you ever want to see. They fundamentally sound. They know how to jam you. You can't go over the top of them because they got an All-American safety. So I just think this gonna be one of them ones, man. I know Towns is gonna come in with athletes. They are. But I just think the '85 Bears, which I call them Morgan State, the '85 Bears, which they are the Bears, so they the '85 Bears, man.
Well, let me ask you this question: is the Celebration Bowl in Morgan's future this year or next year?
If the cards lay out for them, it might be this year.
It may be this year
That's
if the
what I'm
cards
thinking,
lay
too.
out. But see, the only thing, Mr. Ford, I watched him very closely the other day, and that doggone Howard got offense. They got offense now.
Did they got better quarterback play?
Way better. I couldn't stand Williams. I mean, although he was their guy, but I couldn't stand him. I think he stagnated them.
Yeah, I did.
That's just my opinion. He because you have two of the best running back duo, really in black college football, and then imagine this: last year you had a three-headed monster with the guy I was just talking about, Ian Wheeler. He was there.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's no way that you couldn't have won with that. And I just like you said, I just think that Quentin Williams, I was so happy that he graduated and moved on, man, because he held them back, man. I mean, because I watched their team, although they lost the game, but you know how you just be watching the game to see how certain situational football and see how they're gonna react. Howard wasn't scared. Howard was not scared at all.
I was at the Celebration Bowl. They gave it that first half, man. They gave Fam all they could handle. They went up on Fam 14-0.
Yeah, sure did.
But that second half, Willie turned loose that air attack, and they couldn't match up. Especially with them tight ends and them backs out of the backfield, they couldn't match up.
And Gallup, I think Gallup is our next guy out of HBCUs to get drafted.
Yeah, I think he will. Yeah, I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think Gallup. I think he's our guy. I think we got us one this year. I think he's a for sure shot, because if he mess around and can get to anybody's combine, or if he can get to like one, maybe like a blue and gray all-star game or something like that, he gonna show out.
Yeah,
he's gonna show out. He has the goods. He has it.
I would say this. First and foremost, I do have a friend that went. She's alum. She went to Jackson State. All right. Shout out to my homegirl Shannon. Her son is a freshman this year for Towson. He's a defensive tackle, 6'3", 285. Came out of Fort Worth Christian.
Jesus.
Southwest Christian right there. Mr. J.R. Stegall. Shout out to him. Bring him on to the Black College. Shannon, if you listen to this, I might clip this and send this to you. Tell your son, come on back down to the South.
Well, man, we after this year we'll have an opening spot for him. You know, at JSU we'll have an opening spot for him.
Preferably at JSU.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, man, I just want to send a shout out to her and her son. He actually played in the game when they played last week. He actually played in the game against Cincinnati. Didn't look too bad either. It didn't look too bad either. Number 92, if you see him for Towson. I don't want to talk about this game, Howard versus Mercyhurst. Howard by 50 in this game right here.
Yeah, they still upset from last week because they was actually hanging with them boys until they just start opening up that, like I said, them the depth, man, that D1 depth start kind of tiring them out. But I think this is their off week, scrimmage week, and I think they're gonna work on some stuff this week. And I tell you what, I think both running backs will have at least 80 yards apiece.
Let's see. We already talked about shout out to Deputy Mario with the super chat. Said talking about, you see it, let's donate so give me the Jackson for the FAMU game.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. Mr. Ford, you coming to that game?
I think Mr. Ford, you on the phone call? I think you're on the phone call.
Okay.
But yeah, I just want to see what that one is all about. Another game in the MEAC is Elon versus North Carolina Central. Mr. Ford, you back. We saw what we saw from Central this past Sunday. I just want people to know Jamari Taylor for Central. He is that dude at running back.
He's that guy. I got him winning. I got them beating. I know it's not a popular pick, but hell, I'm gonna run with it. I have NCCU 28-14 over the mighty Elon.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Because Elon, they good in the trenches now. I mean, they great in the trenches.
Yeah, they can really run.
But there's a but to that. When you don't have the skilled players, that end up hurting you. And I just think that NCCU skilled players are going to trump theirs, and they're not bad in the trenches either. Any Trey Oliver team we all know is going to be great in the trenches, no matter who they are. So that's why I got them. I like Downing. I like Downing for Elon. I liked him last year. But they hadn't been able to put together just a good season. So I think that NCCU gonna come in and come off a get back game because they felt that they should have won that game. I mean, well, actually they did win. I'm sorry. I think the train keep going.
Okay.
I think they should. Well, I think NCCU feel like they should have won a lot more than what they won.
Yeah, they do. They do.
All right, let's get into the SWAC. Get up into this SWAC action. Arkansas Pine Bluff is trying to rebound from last week. It was a drubbing because it was 70 points by the Razorbacks. And they take on Arkansas Baptist College out of Little Rock. Pine Bluff by 60.
Over Arkansas Baptist?
Arkansas Baptist is a NAIA school.
I said, yeah, but they normally be okay. I'll roll with you, man. I'll roll with you. Oh, I know what I'm thinking about. Houston Baptist. I'm thinking about Houston Baptist.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's
shout out to Deputy Mario celebrating his birthday today. Shout out to Deputy Mario.
Happy birthday, bro.
Alcorn going up to Nashville to take on the smart school of the SEC.
Who coming off a win over Virginia Tech?
Tech.
and
also
going off of G, talking noise to them that the athletic people from their staff came out and said something to G. So G has stepped on a landmine, and I'm gonna say Vandy 56, Alcorn nothing.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
I'm gonna go Vandy. What they say, anchor down.
Yeah,
anchor down.
Clark
anchor
Lee.
down.
What's his name? Clark Lee.
Yeah,
Clark Lee. That's the home. That's the home of old Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Skip Bayless.
That's right.
Hey, I say, yeah, Carlos. I say 56.
Yeah,
I say 56.
Yeah, they dropping. They dropping. They gonna touch the end zone 8 times more. You can book that.
And that game is gonna be on ESPNU.
Listen, they had a black woman was the AD at Vanderbilt. Is she still there?
I haven't checked.
She was. Yeah, she hired Clark Lee.
She sure did. I don't know. That's a good question.
You know, she the one fired Derek Mason. She fired Derek and brought in Clark Lee.
Ooh, hey, that was a big firing right there.
Yeah, Derek is at MTSU now, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
Position coach at that. Yeah.
I thought he was a head man.
After this year, he'll be a position coach.
Oh, okay. So how many years he been at MTSU?
3.
Oh, okay.
We got Mississippi Valley coming down to Beaumont, BMT, Beaumont, Texas, take on Lamar Cardinals.
I got the dirty Delta Devils in that game.
For real?
I do. I think Kendrick. I like Kendrick. They, for some strange reason, they just can't get the athletes there. But I'm looking for big things from that young man that got away from us. They say he's been a terror. They say he's been a terror at practice. They had to stop him from hitting, from what Kendrick was telling me.
Now, who is this kid? Who is it?
Bruce Mitchell.
Batman Mitchell.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, you interviewed him, didn't you, Doc?
Mm-hmm.
He left Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah, it was too. It was too. You know, the defensive backfield in Jackson is too loaded.
Oh yeah, that's open position from what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got about 15 linebackers, don't you?
They got 15 and they rotate 5. Yeah.
I heard they loaded.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say Lamar by 10 in this one.
That's all, Doc. That's all.
That's all.
So y'all don't believe in the Delta Devils?
No, they got to show me something to sweat.
Until they get back home. Until they get back home, they got 3 more weeks on the road. I mean, 2 more weeks on the road before they get back home. Which they feel is looking real good too. Texas Southern, like I said, Texas Southern going down to the Medical District, take on Rice University.
Rice. I mean that'll be more of a money game for them, and but I think that they're gonna put on a decent showing.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna.
That guy at Rice is on his way out anyway. What Mike Blumen? What is it, Mike Bloom?
That's it.
He's on his way out. He done did. He's been out. How many years? 5. How many years he been out?
5. Yeah, and I mean, you got to think, Mike, Mr. Ford Rice got that money. Yeah. They got that medical money. So they ain't, they'll let you, Rice. See, Rice is one of them teams. They're fine with being, maybe the 3rd or 4th best team in Texas. But after a while, you know, they keep just losing and losing. You gone.
You remember Tommy Kramer?
Oh yes, I do. Yes, sir,
Yeah,
I do.
he was a Rice guy, wasn't he?
He was. He was.
But did Rice
Also,
ever host the Super Bowl?
yep, they did
They did.
back in the
Yeah.
70s. Another person I knew, Bert Emanuel. Bert Emanuel is went to Rice also.
Yeah, did he play for the Falcons?
Yes, he did. He was a
Well,
Yes,
receiver.
in
he
Tampa
did.
Bay,
He was a
right?
wide receiver.
Wide
Yeah, I
receiver.
remember
Bert
Birdie,
was a
man.
quarterback. Yeah, Bert was a quarterback at Rice because they ran the triple option back in the day.
Okay.
We got the Lewis Cruz Classic tomorrow. First game for Alabama A&M coming off, like I said, that 70-point loss to Auburn. They take on Kentucky State.
Yeah, he'll run the score up on Kentucky State.
He will run the score up on him. I think Quad Brown, you can book it 300 yards passing, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yep. So we saw Kentucky State lose by 66 this past
Man, that
Saturday.
was a drubbing, man. I felt sorry for my colleagues, the referees out there, man. They were calling the game fair, but I know they were tired, man. Run up and down the field chasing them guys, because it was like every time they hiked the ball, Mr. Ford, they scored a touchdown. They were running 20. I think the rushing attack, I think they averaged about over 10 yards a carry last week.
Let me ask you this. Remember the guy, he was from Air Force. He came to Kentucky State. He beat Jackson in that game up in Indianapolis. He was running that triple option. Whatever happened to that guy? He was a head coach.
They fired him.
They fired him.
They didn't fire him?
They did. They fired him.
I thought they fired him, Mr. Ford. I thought they fired him.
I
thought they fired him. Yeah.
That's the reason why they got that's the reason why they got Fagans as the head coach.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
They got Fagans as the head coach.
Okay, but I'm talking. Remember the guy that beat John Hendricks up in Indianapolis?
Yeah, they was primarily running the team. They fired him.
They fired him.
They fired that guy. Yeah. Yeah, it was a big write-up about that because, matter of fact, I can name the article. The title, fresh off of Jackson State victory year before, he was gone. Yeah.
Because he came in there running that kind of like what Paul Johnson ran.
A flex bone.
Yeah, flex bone.
He was running flex bone. Yeah.
Bama State by 70.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you something. That guy Sam Shade is good, man. Obviously, listening to y'all talking about Albany State and all them, but let me tell you something. That guy's dangerous over at Miles College. Mm-hmm. And he you know what? I hope he finds his way in the SWAC because that guy's good, man. I watched him last year play. Was it last year they beat Tuskegee or somebody? That guy's really good, man.
Mm-hmm.
He is. He's outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
I hope he finds his way in the SWAC.
Since you said something about Miles College, let's segue to this game. Miles College versus Alabama State.
I'm telling you now.
They beat them last year.
Let me say this about Alabama State. Them situations like that, when people getting hurt like that, and then you got 3 new people coming in, out of them 3 people, one of them boys is going to be a star. You just watch and see. I'm telling you, I've been around football long enough to know. One of them boys.
It's that guy from Florida.
Tomorrow.
I'm about to say, one of them boys is going to be a diamond. Just right. Remember Mr. Ford told you now.
I think the young man. I think the young man from Florida will be that guy.
Yeah,
I think he will be.
Who said the kid from Florida is starting?
Yeah, I think he will be because he's a big kid, and he's the type of quarterback that a guy like Eddie Robinson dreams of with that size, with that type of size, and you know he can make the necessary throws. So
now this is what I did not like on Sunday. Why do you have Andrew Body out there damn near being a glorified running back?
Well,
And
because your starting running back is 5'7", 165 pounds.
well, then somebody they should have took their ass to the portal and got a damn running back with some
Yeah,
size on.
it's listen. I was talking to some of they people. See, they giving Eddie a lot of leeway because he's a graduate. He was a star. He was the president's line brother, I think. You know, they Omegas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's some rumblings under the mat, but you know, the people on they want Eddie to be good at Alabama State. They really do, and they're gonna do everything to help him. But it's some rumblings with they faithful about how some things are going. Like you saying, the whole thing with the Andrew Body thing. A lot of people, are, want to know what's
He
going on.
dropped the ball on that. He dropped the
Yeah,
ball on
yeah.
that one,
Was
man.
this kid hurt? Did you play this kid hurt? And it's a lot of rumbles. I know it is up because now listen, they people up here in Atlanta too now. There's a lot of Bama State folks in Atlanta, Georgia, baby. A lot
There's a
of
lot of them in Memphis.
Do
There's a
do
lot of them in Memphis too.
a lot of them here, baby.
do you put this on the coach? Do you put this on the head coach and the offensive coordinator? Because
No,
I think it's
The one that's ultimately in charge is the head coach.
okay.
You put it on the head coach. He's
Yeah, you put that
ultimately in
on the
charge
head
of
coach.
everything. He's just like the principal. Something go wrong in the school, it's the principal's fault because he over the whole school.
Okay.
Because there's no way that you would have Andrew Body running that many times.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
That's a lot of,
it
but see,
just
a lot of
it's just
people
no
want to
way.
know, was that boy hurt? Should he have been cleared? Was he already injured? Was he
Well,
cleared to play or what?
according to his cousin Craig Hall, he had been cleared
Oh, okay,
Yeah, he
and
was
he
okay.
clear.
he was ready to go. But it's just even if you are cleared, practice hitting and game time hitting, those two different type of hits.
Oh
Now
yeah.
you're gonna get some hits in practice, but you got somebody else going against you trying to hit you. Those are different. So I just think they failed that young man. If his season takes a roller coaster, man, he just better hope one of them. He better hope one of them guys on the bench hit. That's the only thing I can say. He
That's
better
real
hope.
fair. I think one of them guys, I don't know if it's gonna be this year, but one of them guys, out of the three y'all talking about, one of them is a diamond. Because
Mhm.
I've seen this before. I've seen this whole scenario before.
Now I would say this: Miles College is coming in pissed because they should have won against West Alabama on Saturday.
They should have.
They should have lost to him by a point, 16-15. They're coming to this game pissed. And then they also come into this game riding high because they know that they can actually beat this team. And
But
they did it
listen, now,
last year.
one thing I was very impressed with initially in that game last Sunday, Central was like, kind of running over Alabama State, but I saw Alabama State defense do a lot of adjustments and got them back into the game. So
Well, I
Yeah,
I
mean, they
don't
had
have no
they
problem with Alabama State's defense now.
yeah
And
they. I
really
mean,
don't have
they
no
had
problem with their special teams.
yeah they. I mean, they got the man on defense. I mean, he
That's
had 15 tackles last week. Doja did.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think he
saying I ain't got no
I
problem
think he
with
had
their
like
defense.
15 tackles.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just know that what's the name is going to come up with a strategy. Sam is going to have a strategy. It's going to be a hard fought ball game. I'm just waiting to see that because I think it is on that ESPN Plus. I just want to
It
see,
is.
what they're going to do offensively for Alabama State.
It's on ESPN Plus at 5:00.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I know it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a dog because I'm telling y'all that Sam Shade guy, that dude is underrated, man. And you know what? Don't be surprised if they win the SIC.
Miles is one of
I
my
just,
favorite teams.
yeah, they're a sleeper team, but I just think Albany. It's just something about their team. They too well balanced, man. And Fort
When
Valley
do
is
they
too.
play? Do they play this year or they don't play?
Who?
Miles and Albany State. Do they play?
Yeah, they played this year. They don't have divisions no more.
Right. So what is that in Albany or in what Miles is in what? I know it's Birmingham, but what do they call that?
Fairfield
Fairfield. Is that game in Albany or Fairfield?
might be in South. I think it might be in South Georgia.
Okay, maybe I can get to that then. That'll be in Albany.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about this game. The U by 80 against
Oh
FAMU.
yeah, I'm either. I'm not watching it, and I'm not looking at it. Neither.
Yeah, Cam
Cam
will
Ward is
probably.
about to. Oh my
Yeah, he'll
God.
play. He'll probably
Man, let
play
me
a
tell you
quarter.
something. The
He'll
way
play
this
a
thing,
quarter.
yeah, the way this thing looking right now, the U is probably gonna get a bye in that 12 team playoff. They're gonna get a
I can
first round
agree.
bye.
I think the U, Ole Miss, Georgia, of course. People talking about Ohio State, but I still think that they got a bad Achilles heel. You know, I'm a Michigan fan. I like Michigan, love Michigan. But they got a bad Achilles heel because for all them athletes that Ohio State, their quarterback is nothing.
Well,
Nothing.
and don't forget, man, don't forget, Ryan Day will mess up a good dream. Yeah,
Hmm.
Ryan Day will mess
Hmm.
up a good dream. Yeah,
Oh, I love him being the coach because I know that some kind of way Michigan gonna pull it out every year against
that's
him.
what I'm saying. I don't have no
We beat
confidence
we
in
beat
Ryan Day.
we beat them twice when they had CJ Stroud.
That's what
And
I'm
you see
saying.
what CJ Stroud did last year in the league as a
Yeah,
rookie, and we
yeah.
beat them twice convincingly both times. So
I'm
Ryan
moving
Day,
forward with Ryan Day.
yeah,
All right.
his days are numbered.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not impressed with Ryan because I'm gonna be honest with you. Every year, Georgia and Ohio State gonna put about 15 or 20 people in the NFL every year.
Yeah. Oh
Hey,
yeah.
So
I mean, Ohio State
hey,
got the athletes.
hey,
I
like
mean,
I
yeah,
they got
said,
that. Uh,
like I said, Whitley said Ohio State by 40.
yeah. I mean, everybody except Michigan. Yeah, I agree with
she,
that.
she Ohio
but you
State
know
fan.
what's
She a
gonna kill them?
Buckeye
I don't know.
fan.
See, what's gonna kill Ohio State is they're gonna mess around with Ryan Day, and Oregon gonna come to Columbus and beat them. What? Do they play Oregon this year?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, they do.
Where's that
Yes, they
game?
do.
Miles played Albany State in Fairfield this year, at Alabama.
Or what's
Oh,
the
that's
date?
good.
Uh, don't know. I got to look at the schedule.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Whitley. I'm not a Big Ten fan. I was never an Ohio State fan. Even when they played David Boston, I was thinking when y'all played Notre Dame back in the day that my man Bobby Taylor would just run up on somebody.
I mean, but you got to think Ohio State has some good teams. I mean, because
Oh
that
man,
that
they're
that team
traditional
that
powerhouse.
team. I mean, that team. When they had Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, they played three quarterbacks that year.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
all three of them were good. So I mean, they have some teams. You got to think about them. Troy, remember them Troy Smith led Ohio State teams? Remember
yeah.
him?
I hated that team.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
hated
they
that
have
team.
some teams, but like I said, today and the last 4 years, we done had their number. We done
Listen,
had their number.
this guy, Brian Day, remember
Uh-huh.
John Cooper? Y'all remember when John Cooper was up there?
Yeah.
Yes.
He would have
Yes.
all the talent in the world and he never won big. That's what Ryan Day
He
is.
was 8-1 against Michigan, and
Right.
then
And that's the
Hey,
same
then
thing
people
they
Ryan
love
let
Day
him.
him.
gonna do.
Then they ceremoniously let him go, and
Yeah.
they brought in Jim Tressel from
Jim
Youngstown
Trust.
State.
From Youngstown.
Listen, this guy here,
Uh,
Ryan Day, is another John Cooper. That's what he is.
Miles played Albany State October the 12th in Fairfield, Alabama. Mr. Ford.
That's gonna be a biggie, I'm telling you. Yeah, that's
Mr.
gonna be a
Ford, you
big.
coming to Jackson on the 19th, man? October 19th?
I hope I can.
We
Yeah, because
need you
that's
Okay.
there.
the biggest game in HBCU football.
We need
It
you
is.
there.
That's gonna be the biggest.
Uh
But now let me say this to y'all. This is what the street committee up here in Atlanta is talking about TC about.
oh. Oh
They are
Lord.
saying, can TC get Jacobian prepared to play in the NFL? That's what everybody wants to know. Can his program get? Because they saying that kid got, even though that boy down there, Florida A&M, is getting the public right. He's getting the write up. They saying that Jacobian is the face of the SWAC because he has more years of eligibility. But everybody up here wants to know, is TC preparing that kid to go to the NFL, CFL, or what's Rock's league called? The US, what's Rock's league called?
The UFL.
UFL,
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this. And I know, this is a HBCU show, and I'm not trying to put out any controversy right now. But like I said, by my being a ref, of course I know a bunch of coaches, all over, no matter what league you're in, SEC, whatever, whomever, SWAC, whatever. But I'm gonna say this: Jackson Dart is leaving Ole Miss this year, and I'm gonna leave that statement where it's at.
Okay. we'll get back to that.
I'm gonna leave that statement where it's at, because Jacobian threw for 200 plus yards against an FBS school and had 2 touchdowns. So, I'm gonna leave that statement where it's at now, because Mississippi State doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, they grooming a guy, but yeah, they.
Well, let me ask you this question.
He's on the watch for eye.
Let me ask: do you think that TC should bring in an offense coordinator? Or you down with him continue to call the plays?
Oh no. Let him call it. Let him call the play. Yeah, let him call the play.
Well, Noop, I'm gonna disagree with you on that one.
Why you gonna disagree with me on?
I think the head coaching job itself is too big of a job for him to do the offense coordinator. I think he needs to bring in somebody, and it needs to be somebody with a reputation, like I said, that can help get Jacobian ready to play NFL, CFL, or USFL ball.
Let's say,
but see, this the thing. The season, I mean, SWAC play is officially about to get started for Jackson State week after next, right?
Right. I'm not talking about this year, but I'm saying if he comes back next year, I think
he'll be back. He'll be back. He'll be back. I think he'll be back because he likes TC, and TC believed in him. And although he's on the watchful eye, but I just think that this young man, I think this young man is true blue Jackson State. I think he's going to stay, and I think he's going to end up throwing. I think I'm gonna give him between this year and next year. I'll give him 6,000 yards. I'll give him 6,000. And I think that'll get him there.
Let's get to this game right here. We got the Mercer Bears.
Oh, this is gonna be a big game.
Going down to Daytona to take on Bethune-Cookman.
Listen, y'all.
That's gonna be a good game.
If Bethune plays Mercer, and if they beat Mercer, or if they play them really tough, the SWAC better watch out.
My only hang up, Mr. Ford, I hate to say it, he's a real good friend of mine, but he reminds me of Hugh Jackson. He got to show me.
Which one? The head coach?
Yeah, Raymond, man. Ray. We call him Ray. But Ray. He gonna have to show me, man. I mean, when I say he's a hell of a recruiter.
Yeah.
He's a likable guy. He'll make you want to run through the wall, but it just doesn't translate on the field. It just doesn't.
How did the quarterback play look for them last week? Who played?
I think he said he had all 3 quarterbacks play because they played South Florida.
Right, they played South Florida.
But I think probably in this game you'll probably look for 2 quarterbacks playing this game to see who
are the 2?
Probably Luke Sprague.
Now that's the guy. Now he's always been at Bethune. Or is it somebody they brought in?
He was there last year.
He was there last year. He just didn't play last year.
Okay.
He got hurt.
Who was the second one?
I forgot the second one, but they said he did real good in the game against South Florida. So for this game, just look for them to play the 2 quarterbacks and then be able to run the ball. So that's what the thing I'm looking for. But if Bethune can go out there, control the clock, and score points, and make sure that they play sound defense, I have a feeling that they could beat Mercer.
This is gonna be a big one. I'm like I said, if they play Mercer tough, If they beat Mercer, I'm telling y'all, this that Florida Classic might come down, might be the what you call it, the championship of the SWAC East.
I don't know about that, Mr. Ford.
I don't know about that one. No, I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that.
I'm
No.
telling you.
I think Coach Thomas has something to say about that. Because if you really looked at that game, besides the second half, I mean, well, really outside of the third quarter, for the first 3 quarters, I mean, to me, TC, he proved it. He proved it.
Mm.
He proved it. He proved it. So, but it's gonna be interesting. I mean, you know, um, with this debacle with Alabama State has opened up a window.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
actually, I mean, if I was Chris Dishman, I'm gonna tell you what I'll be doing, y'all. I'll be trying to go ahead and go and get that swag west this year. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Mm.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because Southern, no QB. Alcorn, no QB. Prairie View, a punter playing QB. I would go ahead and try to win that SWAC West this year.
And since you just brought up Southern, it's another SWAC SIAC matchup right here. Savannah State coming down to Baton Rouge to take on the Southern University Jaguars. Now, Mr. Crook, let me tell you about your damn Jaguars. You had the lead all the way up until maybe 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. And then you let them run 21 straight on you.
Yeah, they fell apart. I watched the game.
You
They
don't.
they fell apart. But if you go back, I mean, Biden, he was 12 for 26.
Yeah.
He had 5 drops. So let's just say
And he was forcing things too. He was forcing.
he was forcing. He was
Yeah,
forcing.
he was
But
forcing.
I think the biggest thing that I didn't like that was actually working for them. I call them boys the 2 musketeers. Them 2 big tight ends. What is it?
Yeah, yeah,
Fuller and
yeah,
Minor.
Mm-hmm.
I
yeah.
don't understand, because you don't have nobody but what's the guy, Morris, the little speedster guy. That's all you really have, because I mean, Quay Davis, I mean, he act like he don't even want to be there. So I mean, if you outside of Dylan and Rhymes, if I was the OC, what I would be doing, I'll be using the 2 musketeers, and then use my running game, and then use Morris situational. I mean, Morris is not really gonna beat you. He's not really gonna beat you, but at least I can use my dual tight end sets, and he can soften up the defense a little bit, because they got 2 big guys at tight end. I mean, I saw
Yeah,
both of them,
I
and they
seen
some
him
big,
too.
they
Yeah,
some big behemoths.
yeah.
Some big dude. They
But now
big.
listen, I'm not impressed with that guy, offense coordinator. Now I
Oh
know
no,
he's
sir.
I know he's Graves' friend. I know that. That's his boy and all that. But I'm not impressed with what's his name? He was the offense coordinator Prairie View. What's his name?
What's it? Fosselman?
No, his name is Mark
Mark Frederick.
Frederick. I'm not impressed with
Mark
Mark at
Frederick.
all.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he had, because there's no way against a McNeese team, if I have Dylan and I got Rhymes in the same backfield, backing up one each another. I mean, you should have had 200 yards rushing. You should have had 2. Yeah, I
But
mean, and the crazy part about it, they didn't even have 200 yards as a team last week against
so
McNeese.
here's the thing, though. You knock out Clifton McDowell, which I think he's overhyped. But you kept the game in hand, right? How did they score? What, it was special teams. They scored.
Yeah,
Special teams, and
Special teams.
although I can't stand Southern, but I'm gonna give Southern credit. Southern has always been a great special team school, always. Even when
especially
they
on the
had
Dawson
high
Odom.
pop, yeah,
Especially on the Dawson Odom.
even when they had great offense, they always had like a kicker. They always
Yeah.
had like a punter. Man, that stuff I saw last week. I mean, I hate it, Crooked View in the chat. I hate it for you, but it's just what I told you. And I tried to tell you, y'all are good for 4 games this year. I'm telling you. And what's so bad about it, Mr. Crook? If you are in this chat, I'm gonna give you this game tomorrow. I think y'all will beat Savannah State, and I got that game. I got them winning 21-6.
No, they'll beat them big better than that. They'll Savannah's not going to score because let me say this now. Southern defense is tough. They got a defense.
Givens.
Offensive and that special team.
Yeah, Givens. Givens. I think him, Dozier, Malachi Bailey, and also because of his size and his ranginess, it's Guthrie, Bowler from FAMU. I think those are some guys that's gonna cause a bit of some noise in these, this HBCU Pro Day bowl game and all that type combine type stuff. I think them guys gonna cause some noise. And like I said, but I think for short shot out of everybody that I just named, I gotta roll with Malachi Bailey, man. That's my favorite defensive lineman in the SWAC.
Oh, yeah.
He my favorite from Alcorn. He my favorite, man. I mean, that young man there. He got. Oh, I forgot about another guy, McDaniel from Jackson State too.
Mm-hmm.
McDaniel.
Okay, so he scored twice out for special teams. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, y'all had the chance to win the game, and y'all was trying to drive down the field. Like in the fourth quarter, y'all tried to drive down the field. I did like some things that I saw from y'all in the game, but there's some things that I did not like that y'all need to basically need to shore up that special teams play. Let's move on up to North Louisiana. You got the winningest football team and all the HBCUs. Tuskegee Golden Tigers coming to the hole to take on the Grambling State Tigers.
Grambling.
Heard it enough in Grambling. Tuskegee doesn't even have an offense. They doesn't have an offense. Tuskegee ain't been right since Willie Slater left Macon County.
Yeah, and even before then, I mean, because you got to think one of the best teams I'd ever seen was that year they went 13-0 when they had a win against a SWAC school and a MEAC school. They went 13-0 under Comedy. That was a team there.
Now listen, this guy's not the answer, man. What you said, I saw him as a player. He was excellent. Aaron James is not the answer. He's not the answer for Tuskegee. And Tuskegee spending about about maybe $5 or $6 million on sports.
But see, but you got to think they got the money there at Tuskegee, and Doc can tell you, I'm a real big advocate for Tuskegee joining the SWAC. I'm a real big advocate for them. I talk about them all the time. I think they SWAC material. I think they got the budget to be in the SWAC. I think they're going to have a fanfare. And if you think about it, when Tuskegee started playing like Jackson State and Southern and Grambling each year and FAMU and schools like that, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, which they already played a Turkey Day, of course. But when you start scheduling those, Tuskegee versus teams in the SWAC, they're gonna be instant classics every weekend. Every weekend, it's gonna be some type of classic because they're gonna draw the fanfare. Number one, and number two is people from the SWAC is going to be interested to see Tuskegee because of the history of that school.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you think about Ruffin as an AD? Because there's a lot of complaints up here about him.
He better get it together. That's all I'm gonna say.
Now the word is he wants to either join the SWAC or the MEAC. Now that's the word up here, but it's just a lot of complaints about different, his managerial style.
I think they need to join the SWAC because of the location, and then it will be feasible, and they'll be seen a lot more as opposed to the MEAC. Because I think they're right there in Alabama, so it's nothing to drive 4 hours to Tuskegee or for them to come to Jackson, them to come to Southern, them going to Grambling.
Go to Alabama A&M, go to Alabama State, go to Bethune.
Right.
That's the old FIAC.
Yeah. Yeah. So
My
I'm
question
a
once
big
again is roughing the right person to lead them into the SWAC, or do they need to go out and get them a real AD?
they're gonna have to. I mean, because I got a couple fraternity brothers, man. Shout out to G Lighthouse chapter down there at Tuskegee, and they don't like him. They don't like him at
Well,
all.
they
I
ain't by
mean,
themselves.
they
There's a lot
don't
of
like
complaints up here about
they don't
roughing.
like him.
Mhm.
They talk about him bad. They talk about him bad. Like Mr. Ford, they talk about him so bad that they saying that through the alumni association is willing to pay to get this man out of there. That's how bad they want him gone. So
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll tell
I
you,
don't know about that one.
they get to the last two games
Yes, sir.
tomorrow, 6 o'clock in Jackson, Mississippi. That is, we got the Lane College Dragons coming down to Jackson to play the Jackson State Tigers.
56-7. Jackson
Yeah,
State.
he should throw for 6 touchdowns.
Yeah,
He throw for
56.
6 touchdowns.
And this is Lane's first game of the season too. So,
Oh, I'm reading the chat. What you say, Crook? You said I don't know what I'm talking about. I just broke down your whole team. How you say I don't know what I'm talking about? I just broke down your whole team with names. I know your team, man. Your team, y'all ain't got nothing, man. Like
So
I
now
said, I do like the type
who is Crook's team?
Southern.
Oh, you're Jag.
You're Jared.
Hey, well, listen, man. Let me just say this. Now, this is my take on something. The defense is there. I like the defense. Okay. The biggest, I don't like your direction at the top. I don't like your offensive coordinator. Okay. I want that
No, I
young
can't
man
stand
to
that.
stop forcing stuff. He's forcing too much. Let the
Way too
game
much.
come to him. That's Noah. And the other thing is, they gotta let Noah play. Don't start that snatching stuff. Let him play. Let him make some mistakes. It'll come back and help you later on.
Now
Now,
I didn't like the way they snatched. You're right, Mr.
yeah, I
Ford.
don't
I
like
didn't
that
like.
snatching stuff.
I ain't like the way they snatched him out like that.
No, I don't like that.
I can't stand that. Like you said, Mr. Ford, you gotta let the quarterback get in a groove. That's
Yeah,
the only way.
and let him make some
Let him.
mistakes. Yeah, let him
Yeah.
make some mistakes. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because he
listen,
can't help. Now he can't throw the ball and somebody catch it too.
yeah,
He can't catch the ball too now. So I mean, I legitimately counted like 5 times he hit guys in the hand and they dropped it.
well,
So
let me say this to Crook. I want you to do like I do. I want you to watch the offensive coordination. And I want you to see if you feel like I do. Because right now, I'm not high on Mark Fredericks. I wasn't
me
high on
either.
him at Prairie View. Okay,
Me
so I ain't
either.
high on him.
Me
He's a
either.
running back recruiting coordinator, but he's not an OC.
I think they picked the. I think this just my opinion on it. You got the perfect OC down there
They showed
for
two
what you
of them.
trying to run. For you got 2 of them for what you trying for what Southern
Yeah.
really want to do. Man, look, get that headset to Fred McNair and be
Or give
through
it
with that.
to Willie.
Or give it to Willie Totten.
Yeah, I would let Willie do the play calling, and I would put Willie up there in that booth and let him call the play.
Yeah,
Put him
like
up high
man,
and go to the
you
press
can't
box
have
and call
those
the play.
you can't have those type of coaches down
And
there
now
with
you
those
right.
type with that type of pedigree that them guys have. Man, please.
But now let me say this, and I always say this. Okay, let me just say this. When it comes to Southern, and I'm a Grambling person, Southern got some of the smartest fans, just like Jackson, just like Fam, just like A&T, just like Grambling. Let me just say this. Them people at Southern gonna get Terrence about 2 more games where they mangle up that offense, and he gonna get that 3 a.m. call, and it's gonna get straightened out now. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
It's gonna
big
get
big
straightened
cat.
out.
Yeah,
It's gonna get
Terrence
straightened out.
Gray better.
Because I know how them
Terrence
Jags
Gray
do
better
that.
watch himself. He better
Yeah,
watch himself because I
yeah,
mean, you got guys, alumni like Crook, them, Mr.
yeah.
Carlos Brown, and
Oh yeah.
all them guys.
It gets
That,
straightened out. It'll get
you
straightened
know,
out.
them guys got major influence in that
Yeah,
program. And
yeah, it'll get straightened out.
you might
It'll
not
get
want to
straightened out.
cross them too many times because I
Well,
know
that's it.
Crook
See,
will go
him
from
and
chat to chat.
Terrence and Mark are good friends. I understand. He took care of his boy, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take care of your boy. But now let me just say this. Willie needs to
Don't
be
get
calling them play. Willie
don't
needs
get
to be calling
fired
play.
trying to take care of your boy either.
Yeah, but
Don't.
listen. That ain't nothing wrong with that. You take care of your boy now. You take care. I believe in that. I believe in
Yeah, I believe
communalism.
in that.
I believe in that. But my
I believe in
thing
that.
is, he can be the offensive coordinator, but Willie need to call the play. Okay, Willie need to call the play.
Yeah, because you got some championship pedigree on that staff.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, a lot of people make jokes calling them the old man and all this type of stuff. And I get it, I get it just for jokes. But one thing you cannot deny, and I tell people this all the time, even the people I can't stand Alcorn either, because I'm a true Jacksonian. But one thing you cannot deny are numbers. You can't deny that. You can't deny no numbers, man. I mean, Fred McNair, you can say, yeah,
yeah.
he wasn't this and he wasn't that, but you cannot say that man wasn't a winner at Little Alcorn.
He went to the Celebration Bowl 3 times, didn't he?
Four,
How many times he went to the
four,
Celebration Bowl?
4 times.
four. He went four.
Wait a minute now. I know. Wait a minute. I
No,
know
he went 3. Was it
three
No, he
against
went
Alcorn?
two.
A&T, right? He
3
went
against
three.
A, 3 against
Yeah, he went
A&T.
three.
Remember?
Yeah, three.
He went three
Yeah.
against A&T. That's right. That's what I was thinking. He went
Mhm.
3 against A&T.
So I mean, you just can't I mean, I know we fans and stuff like that, but on this channel we try to talk about the real of it. You see what I'm saying, and not just
Right.
the fandom, the facts over fandom. But I mean, Southern. I mean, although I can't stand y'all now, I can't. But as far as the factual consortium of it, you have two guys that are champions on your staff, and this is the type of offense that you put out against McNeese. ULM would have put 56 on them. Look, come on, man. Let's just be real. McNeese. So I mean, I don't know. It ain't my school. I can't tell nobody how to run their business, but there's no way that I can have a fragment there and a Willie Totten on my team, and my offense look dismal like that. There's no
Right.
way. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So let's get to this game of the week. And I don't know how I do know how I picked this game of the week because this game was supposed to happen a while back, but it is the game of the week. We got the Tennessee State Tigers going up to Fargo, North Dakota, to take on North Dakota State. Tennessee State coming in at 1-0, beating Valley 41-21. And we know North Dakota State is coming off the loss against Colorado, 31-26.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to it. DJ.
I
Mr.
got 40,
Ellis.
40 what you say, 42-21 North Dakota State.
Mm.
I think DJ will have a 200-yard game. I think he will. He's very focused this year. I've seen him a couple practice live. His dad sent me. I'm real friends with his dad. He sent me a couple, tapes on him. I think he'll go for about 2 or 3 touchdowns. But those trenches with North Dakota State, and then they coming off a game that they clearly could have won, and then the best overall player in FCS is Cam Miller. So yeah, I think they're gonna run away with it.
I say this. it ain't gonna be it's not gonna be the quarterback play. If you just said it, it's gonna be the trench play. It's gonna be Tennessee State's front seven versus North Dakota State offensive line. Who can get the better of each one? And when I was looking at the game on Saturday, with Tennessee State, I think they got a little bit more better on the defensive, on the defensive line.
They lost to Real though, man.
They lost to
Real was
Real,
the guy.
but I think
He was the guy.
But they still got Jalen Bell from Valley, so he is.
They do.
He is an interior line. He's an interior disruptor. But it to me, I just want to see how Brandon Fisher, that defense, fares up against North Dakota State's offense. Now, I ain't going to say it's going to be 41-0 because
I ain't going to say that. No, I think it'll probably be 42-21.
I think to me, my Blue, you ain't have to do me like that, Blue. Come on now, Blue. You did not have to do me like this.
What did Blue say?
He said everybody look good against Valley. Which is true.
That's true.
I think I'm be honest with you. I think it would be to me, I feel like it might be a closer game than what everybody would think. But I would say
no, I don't think it'll be close. They'll win. They'll win by 3 touchdowns. They'll win. They'll win 3 touchdowns.
Remember this. North Dakota State is a FBS program running around in the FCS. Okay, Tennessee State ain't on their level with the money, and they definitely ain't on their level with the coaching, and ain't on their level with the players. So, like I said, I'm gonna get Tennessee State maybe 2-3 touchdowns, and I'm gonna give North Dakota State about 45. Now, let me tell you something. I remember about 3 years ago, North Carolina A&T went up and played North Dakota State up in Fargo, right? And let me just tell you, this is the truth. And let me tell you what else. They was beating them to death in the first half, about 40-something-0, right? This is the truth. North Dakota State in the second half called off the dogs. I saw them do it. They called up. They could have ran up 60 or 70 points on A&T, but the coach pulled them off of them.
Yeah, and I think Cam will have Cam Miller tomorrow. He'll have about 250 pass and about 120 rush and about 5 touchdowns.
That's an FBS program, man.
Yeah,
that's an FBS program.
I like Cam. I think, in my humble opinion, I think that Cam Miller should get a shot in the NFL to play quarterback. I think he should. I don't know, because they're so big on these measurables and all this crap these days and stuff that really doesn't.
But here's the thing about North Dakota State quarterbacks that go to the NFL. They don't pan out the way that you see.
They don't, and it's
wait a minute now. Trey Lance up there, he gonna be all right.
Nah. Nah, he threw Mr. Ford. He threw because I had called Doc and I said, "Man, I got something to tell you." He was like, "What?" I said, "You."
I already seen that. I told him. I said, "I already seen it." He threw 5 interceptions in the game.
In the game. This was a preseason game. 5 interceptions. He had 7 turnovers. He had 5 interceptions and 2 fumbles. That's why San Fran got rid of him. You got to think didn't they take him with number 3 overall, 2 overall? Was it 2 or 3?
What? Trey Lance?
Yeah, was it number 2 or number 3?
Number 2 or number 3. I think it was either number 2 or number 3. Got a question for you, Mr. Ford. Carlos said, he asked you, said, was the school that played DeSoto the best Georgia could see it to Texas?
No, they wouldn't have. No.
He said,
Nah,
I was like, you could have said Milton.
listen. In
Milton
my
could have came.
neighborhood, they about the number 3, number 2, because the best in this area right now is probably Langston Hughes. This is
I
what
heard
we
a lot
call
of
South
I heard a
Atlanta.
lot of kids. I heard a
Yeah,
lot of kids
because
vote.
where I live and where that school is, and I'm on the tip of the city of Atlanta, and then I'm in what we call South Fullerton, right? So the best out here is probably Langston Hughes, and then well, you know what? They might be number 2. They might be number 2 because usually it's Langston and then it's Westlake, but Westlake is way down right now. They down.
Mm.
So yeah, they about the number 2 in this area over here. But in the state of Georgia, no, Lord, no.
I said somebody said they should have sent Milton
Yeah,
High
you can
School.
send Milton, you can send them schools from Gwinnett, like Grayson,
Mm-hmm.
Archer, what's the other school? It's another one, North Gwinnett. Now, them schools like that, they come to play. All right, then you got to go down into South Georgia. You got Colquitt, Lowndes County. I don't know what Valdosta is right now, but that's the 5 of the South.
Yeah, I
Oh, and
mean,
Lee County.
Lowndes County has always been traditionally good because Valdosta has run. They have run. I mean, the last 20, 30 years. I mean, they just, they just have great talent, man.
Yeah.
They
But
have
now
great talent.
these Gwinnett schools up here, that's the North Metro. Now they got some super teams. Now, like I said, that Grayson Rams and that Brookwood. I don't know how Parkview is right now. That North Gwinnett, Archer. I'm trying to think. I have to see that region. They got some good stuff out there now. They got some good program. And like you said, that Milton is the defending. They were the 7A champs, but remember they destroyed 7A. There's no longer 7A in Georgia. Everybody now it's 6A and below. They forced all the 7A schools to go 6A.
Lawrence said Douglas County is number 2 in Georgia.
Yeah, but now that's farther out. That's from me. That's about 25 miles. That would be like a suburban area of the metro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm talking about right here in the South Atlanta area, South Fulton. Like I said, it's probably at Langston Hughes, and then maybe Creekside, and then Westlake. Those schools there.
The home of Cam Newton.
Yeah, the home of Cam Newton. Yeah, Westlake.
Westlake.
But they got a new real young coach over there, and that program's gonna have to be built. It's going, because a lot of the kids walked off and left and went over to Langston Hughes, making them stronger.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now Carrollton is about an hour from where I live. Yeah, they got some big time players out there, but that's not really Carrollton. To be honest with you, I don't even know if that would be the suburb.
That's almost Carrollton, Georgia.
Yeah, that's going into Alabama.
Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, that's going into Alabama.
Well, the best teams I've seen in Mississippi on the high school level, down there in that Forest County area, man. Hattiesburg, you got Oak Grove, dominant. Matter of fact, Hattiesburg have about 7 seniors that already signed D1 scholarships. Oak Grove has 16 of the 22. Oxford, up my way, Oxford is looking real good. But guess who's back though? Guess who's back? Saw them play. Well, I listened to them on the radio last night. South Panola is back.
South
I was
Panola.
just about to ask about them.
They back. They are back. You
So
remember the quarterback Pegues
Yeah, I remember.
with the Mississippi State?
Yeah.
His brother's the quarterback starting in the 9th grade.
Listen, South Panola came down here and beat Colquitt County. That's one of our top teams when they had y'all remember Rush Probst?
Yeah.
Yeah, they came down here on a Sunday and beat Colquitt County by about 65 points.
Yeah, that game was on ESPN. But see that
Yeah.
game, that team that year, every starter on offense and defense went half of them went to the SEC, and the other half was going to places, like some of them were going JUCO because of grades. But that was that. You remember that year when Ole Miss had that huge recruiting class? You remember that team?
You talking about with the one where they had Kim Dichie and all of them came into
Yeah.
that class?
Yeah,
They
I
signed.
remember,
Remember
I remember that. Yeah.
they signed 5. Ole Miss had signed 5 guys off that team.
That's
What year
Hugh
was that?
Freeze's era, right? Wasn't that when Hugh Freeze was there?
That was Hugh Freeze. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
that,
They had a guy.
was that the 2015 signing class?
It was.
Yeah, because that was
Treadwell. You had Treadwell.
I remember Treadwell.
You had Kim Dichie. Remember you had Chris Strong from South Panola, and you remember Tony. What was Tony last name? Remember he was the best safety in the nation. He was from South Panola. Tony Small. Remember him? Yeah. See, all that came from South Panola. That team right there was unstoppable because you got to think that year they had Pegues, which Pegues was. You remember he was the only one that went to Mississippi State. Remember, on that team, but the rest of them went Ole Miss and Alabama and all them other places.
Hey, did DK Metcalf play with them?
DK Metcalf, he went to Oxford. He went to Oxford.
Saying, but did he play with them at Ole Miss?
DK was in 20. DK came in 20.
So DK didn't play with Condici and them, right?
He didn't. He was after them. Because remember, he and AJ came in together.
Okay, right.
Because AJ came from Starkville. He played under Chris Jones from Jackson State. He played up under him. And then remember
DK from
Oxford. He played for his dad. He played for his dad. Remember Terrence Metcalf for the Chicago Bears, big lineman. He was the coach. He was the offensive coordinator for his son at Oxford.
Okay, and then that whole wideout room, it was them two.
Mm-hmm.
It was them two. Quincy Attaboy Joe from Cedar Hill, DeMarcus Lawrence from Cedar Hill. Was it Cody? Was it Cody? What's his last name? Was it Cody Wire? I think that's him. He was. And remember. Let's not forget about that tight end now. Let's not forget him now.
Evan Ingram.
Remember, because he stayed. Remember, he stayed after what's the name them left. Remember, because he played the full 4 years. Remember, and he ended up playing
Evan Ingram, right? Was it Evan Ingram you talking about?
It was Evan Ingram. Yeah.
He was he from Georgia? He was from Georgia, right?
I don't know where Evan Ingram came from. I don't know.
Ingram was from Georgia.
And I know
because out of high school, remember he was. You remember because they got mad at. Remember Nick Saban got mad at Ole Miss. Remember because they had the number 1 wide receiver prospect. They had the number 1 safety. They had the number 1 tight end. They had the number 1 offensive lineman. They had the number 1 defensive lineman. Yeah. Remember, they had all number 1s.
The reason he was mad was because Hugh Freeze beat him 2 years in a row. That's what he was mad about.
And both times dropped 40, Mr. Ford.
I saw both games. Yeah, he couldn't match up with them wideouts.
He couldn't. Wasn't nothing he could do.
Right now at halftime here in Dallas, Duncanville is leading South Oak Cliff 14-6 at halftime.
What about DeSoto?
DeSoto, oh man, let's just see.
35 nothing, bro.
Now they are playing North Crowley. North Crowley
Okay.
is actually a good school. This North Crowley was 2 games away from going to state to play.
They got that. They still got that. They still got that quarterback.
Yeah, Chris Jemison. Yeah,
That's him. Yeah, that's
the
him.
game is
Hey, Doc, let me ask you this. Now, Jimmy Johnson died. Are y'all gonna put something on the helmets, or y'all still ain't dealing with him?
huh?
Didn't Jimmy Johnson die?
No, I don't think so.
Wait a minute. I thought Jimmy Johnson passed.
No.
You sure?
Let me see. Hold on.
Pull it up. I thought Jimmy Johnson passed.
No, he's still alive and well.
Jimmy Johnson is still alive and well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. The game. Oh, DeSoto versus North Crowley right now is 34-29.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
In the
Like I said,
same-
I did like that quarterback they had last year. I liked him.
Mhm.
I think he'll end up going to one of them Texas schools.
Hey, and what happened to the kid that was from Texas that was supposed to come to Jackson and then he pulled out and went somewhere else? The quarterback. About 2 years ago.
PJ Hatter.
Yeah,
PJ Hatter, Texas
what
State.
happened
He
with
went to
him?
Texas State.
He is still
He
at
went to Texas State, and he
So is he
still ain't gonna touch the field because what's his
okay.
name still there? You know, big boy,
TJ Finley gone.
Finley gone.
Finley gone. TJ
But
Finley
who was
gone.
who? Okay, who was the backup? Because they had a running quarterback too, right after Finley. Who was that guy? What was that guy name?
He gone.
Remember the guy?
I think he gone too.
Oh well, PJ Hatter should be your starter then, because I know he was third string. I do remember that.
Yeah, Finley over at Western Kentucky.
Yeah, West Kentucky. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, then I remember they had a running quarterback, and you saying that he's gone. So that PJ Hatter was next in line. He was third string. I do know that. Yeah, he was third string. And he made me mad because he did everything to try to score a touchdown against Jackson State. It was actually kind of funny the way he did it too. But yeah, I see big things from him.
Why did he pull out? Why did he pull out? And why did he leave Jackson? What was that all about?
Not that's
3
right.
letters.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, PJ Hatter ain't starting because I seen that last week. Jordan McLeod from James Madison is the starting quarterback for Texas State.
Yeah, because like I said, I remember they had Finley. I remember they had the running guy and then Hatter. So now I guess they done brought in another guy. Okay, well, that guy from James Madison, now PJ ain't gonna touch the field to the second half.
Malik Hornsby. Yeah, Malik Hornsby is a receiver at Arkansas State. Let's see who else I knew that I seen. Jaquinda Jackson was a quarterback at Duncanville. They switched him over to running back when he was at Utah. Now he's over at Arkansas playing running back.
But he was a hell of a runner though. He was a hell of a runner.
Hey, Doc.
233 pounds. Yeah, he better be a hell of a runner.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things Cam Ward needs to do when he gets that Heisman Trophy this year in New York, he needs to bring Blue with him.
You didn't say it's not the Heisman. Okay.
He needs to bring Blue with him because Blue been blowing him up for the last 2 or 3 years. So he needs to get Blue some of that.
Man, well, I mean, but Blue, like I said, but Blue is another guy that speaks facts over fandom. So I mean, you know, when you have to look at stuff like
New
that.
York with him.
But I will say this.
Blue, you hear that, right?
I will say this. He is in the perfect system this year.
Listen, they gonna run through the ACC. They gonna get a bye. Man, this is the best U teams in the year.
Oh my God!
Let's talk about this. Blue laughing at you. Talk about with take him up to New York for the Heisman.
Man, please Don't y'all start with that. I'm still having PTSD over DJ Uwangale now. Don't do me like that, Doc.
Yeah, let's
Don't
talk
do me.
about
Come
that
on, man. Don't do me like that, man.
because ain't no way in the world you let Georgia Tech get up on you like that.
Georgia Tech is better, Blue. I mean, Doc. Georgia Tech is better.
Then turn around and get caught up by Boston College.
No, but let me say this. University of Florida is in need of a head coach. They need to look at Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, they got Bill O'Brien.
University of Florida needs to look at Bill O'Brien. Bring him to Gainesville. He got the pedigree. He don't work for everybody. Bring Bill O'Brien from Boston College to Gainesville, Florida. Because let me tell you something. Billy Napier is way over his head. Okay? He is way over his head.
I just like, but for Florida State, and I think this is on recruiting for them. Mike Norvell, I think he did not replace the machine that he had from last year. I think he also had they still had a bitter taste in their mouth because of the simple fact that they didn't get it to the playoff, but I think it's starting to bite them back in the butt. Another team that's somebody might be out on the way out is that man Dabo Swinney.
Yeah, if you don't take away, but listen, let's go back to Florida State. Remember that Jordan Travis guy, he saved Mike Norvell's job.
He did.
Okay, he saved his job, and he didn't go get another quarterback like him. I'm just telling you, what they did at University of Miami, they done brought back a chance to win the national championship again, and they're gonna have a Heisman Trophy winner because Cam gonna win that Heisman Trophy. Y'all might as well get ready for that. He gonna win that.
Clemson, Dabo needs to get with the times. It's 2024. You gotta be able to. I understand you want to recruit the high school ranks, and it's cool, but
yeah, man.
The thing with Dabo Swinney was, number one, he was kissing Trump's behind. That helped tear down his program. And then this whole thing, like you said, he gonna ignore the transfer portal. Yeah, he getting ready to leave Clemson. He getting ready to leave.
Ooh, that buyout is heavy.
Well, they'll give it to him. That's an engineering school. They'll give it to him.
That's a heavy engineering school. So I mean, they have it, man. But it's, to me, man. I like Florida State. I'm a fan of Florida State. I always have been. Even back in the Deion days, I was. I'm not gonna lie. He was one that made me become a Florida State fan. Seeing him play, and but it's like DJU, man. It's like, I don't know if he's trying to sabotage the program or what. I just don't get it with that young man there, man. There's no way that you can be 6'6", 250 pounds, and got a cannon, but you can't throw the ball under pressure but 5 or 10 yards and you throwing it to the dirt. Man, that's sabotage, man. Somebody paying that man. I'm sorry.
But I'm sorry. He was at Clemson. Remember, he started at Clemson. He got ran out of Clemson because who's
Klubnik?
Klubnik right behind him.
Yeah, he was, but Klubnik. That was a perennial 5-star guy. Although they hadn't put any talent around him, not the kind of Clemson talent that I'm used to seeing. They don't have some guys.
That's the problem.
They don't have some guys now that's done within these last 2 or 3 years have gone to the league.
Didn't they beat Alabama one year for the national championship?
Yes, they did.
That's the problem.
And if Deshaun Watson would have had five more seconds, they would have beat him two. They'd have beat him 2 times in a row.
Deshaun Watson should have won the Heisman Trophy 2 years in a row. He should have won it twice.
He was mediocre at best at Oregon State, and now he bringing that field over to Florida State.
Well, he's still kind of in his feelings because the guy that he used to compete against out there, what is it? What's that? Carter. What's the name of that? What's the
Modern
name of
day.
that? Modern Day. He's still kind of jaded because he was, it was a toss up. Him on some rankings he was number one, and then old boy from Carolina was Bryson.
Right, young.
Young. Yeah, he was number one. So, but that man. What is this? This is what year is Bryce Young in the league now? Is this year number
Second
2 or
year.
3?
Second year.
Second year. And this man is still
Second year.
playing college football. So,
Listen, they probably gave him. Listen, they probably gave him $1 million now because
he
this
did. They gave him $1 million because he
they
asked
probably gave
for
him
it.
$1
Yeah, he
million.
asked for it, Mr. Ford, and they gave it to him.
Yeah,
And
they
what's
gave
so crazy to me is that I don't understand why Florida State didn't just up the ante, but I can understand why Cam went to Miami. Because though Miami, that offense, man,
all they
I'm
needed
gonna
was
say,
a quarterback. All Miami needed was a
man, they
quarterback, and they
made
got it.
Florida, and I hate it because I liked them over there at La Tech. I did. I know that's not a popular thing to say.
Who was at La Tech?
Bill Napier.
No, he was at Louisiana Lafayette.
Lafayette.
Yeah.
Sorry,
He raised
Lafayette.
Cajuns.
I liked him there.
I like it
But
too, but he's in over his head. That job is too big for him. You
yeah,
gotta
he out of there. He's
whoever comes to Gainesville has to be one of the top 10 coaches in America. I keep telling y'all this. If it was right, Florida would be dominating the SEC, not Georgia, not Alabama. It would be Florida.
But you gotta understand. Though. You gotta understand. I'm gonna tell you one thing, and I know it's not popular opinion, but Kirby Smart is that coach that got away. That was your guy. That was your guy in the SEC. The LSU's, the Floridas, the teams like that. That was your guy. You let him get away. You let him go back home.
Well, like I said,
let them go back home, and it's going to be hard to beat them, man. It's going to be hard to beat them.
Listen, at the end of the season, Florida needs to make that call up there at Chestnut Hill and tell O'Brien, bring the program down here to Gainesville. He's what they need. Bill O'Brien. That's who they need. You think
so?
Yes. Bring him down. Bring him down. Because Napier, you know what? I'm gonna be happy for him if he makes the whole season. Because that they look bad. They look bad.
You think they'll make old Urban come out of retirement?
I don't know.
Man, they'll do anything, man. Listen, man. They had 90,000 Saturday looking at that slaughter. It was 90,000 people at that game at the Swamp.
Yeah.
Now here I will say this.
What's that?
Saturday in September, Tennessee versus Florida. It's gonna be nasty.
Man, where's that game? Is that in Gainesville?
I think it's in. I think we're in Tennessee this year.
Well, if Kirby Smart's embarrassing, they might make him walk back to Gainesville.
Blue, you right. Hey, Blue, and what's so bad about it, nephew, Blue? I laughed and laughed and laughed because he interviewed for the Auburn job. He interviewed for that job. I remember that. Me and some of the other refs was talking about it. Mr. Ford, do you realize that Auburn could have had Kirby Smart?
Yeah.
They could have had Kirby Smart.
But listen, the players requested Chiswick. The players wanted Chiswick to come.
That part is true. That part is true.
Listen, let me tell you. One of the things that he did when he came back to Auburn, he asked the players, are there any assistant coaches you want me to keep? And they told him, no, get rid of all of them. That's what the players told him. Get rid of all of them.
Now the game for tomorrow is two of them, right? First
one,
one,
Texas and Michigan.
The first one in the morning, Texas versus Michigan in the big house.
Oh, that's
upset.
Upset.
Nebraska the Colorado versus Nebraska in Lincoln.
Give me Colorado. I mean, give me. I'm sorry, not Colorado.
No,
Give me Nebraska. Give me
do
Nebraska.
you know, Mr. Ford? Did you hear the story about how much they paid that boy?
You talking about Raola?
Yes.
Yeah. You remember? You know, he was here in Georgia. He was actually going to go to Georgia, but they gave his daddy money, and he went up to Nebraska because his dad, I think, went to Nebraska.
His daddy went to his daddy graduated from Nebraska. Yep.
His daddy was the center for Detroit, right? For the Lions.
He was.
Right?
He was.
Yeah.
He was on a bad team too.
Yeah, because the son played at Buford. The boy that's a quarterback, he was at Buford High School.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you that wide receiver they got, that lanky kid that stayed home in Nebraska, real deal.
Listen, man.
Real
that thing up there
deal.
in Boulder, that's a zoo. That's what that is. That's a zoo.
But what's carrying them, man? But what's carrying them? You just, I keep saying this. You know, maybe I just have my own biases, man. But you might not. You know, I understand about the dad, but come on, man. Give Shador. Man, Shador's a bad man. That's a bad man.
No doubt about
That's
it.
a bad
Listen.
man.
Deion Sanders is trying to catch that Underground Railroad out of Boulder. He trying to find a way to get out of Boulder. Yeah. He's trying to get on that Underground Railroad.
First of all, he ain't gonna know how to coach no other quarterback than Shador, because he really don't even coach him.
I'm about to tell you, he's trying to find a way to get out. If he can go NFL, whatever, he's trying to get out of there.
I don't think he want to go to NFL either.
Well, wherever he want to go, because he's definitely trying to get out of Boulder. Because all them lies and all that deceit and chicanery done caught up with him. It's over.
Let's talk about.
But see, he had to understand that. You got to think about it. Think about it this way: if you a 4 or 5 star kid, let's just be real. No matter who the coach is, are you gonna be quick to really go play football in Colorado under all that altitude?
He don't really want to recruit high school kids. Why would you go there? And the man said he don't want high school kids. Why would you go there? Listen, that train about over. It's about over.
Cause see that train was over. That train with Colorado then was over with Cordell Stewart. You know, Airbnb. You know, those were great teams back then.
One of the things that did help them was they joined the Big 12. Because it made I didn't understand why they got in the Pac-12. I didn't understand it. But it's going to help them now. You can get you some players out of Texas. But the main thing is they got to get them somebody that's real. Deion them is they P.T. Barnum. You remember the Circus P.T. Barnum? That's what Deion them are up there in Boulder. That's what they are. They the Circus.
Well, let's talk about Michigan versus Texas. This game is in the big house.
This
is not a rematch. Yeah, this. No, I think a while back we talking about.
Yeah, it's a rematch. It's a rematch. Yeah, we beat them, but nah, man, we don't have we have quarterback issues this year. We coming off a headache of a 3-year bona fide starter for us. The Orgy guy, he's a running quarterback. He really can't throw the ball into the Pacific Ocean.
Who is this?
At Michigan. And then the other guy, he's been on a bench, a couple years. I think our biggest mistake was McNamara getting away from us and going. I think he went to Purdue. I think that was a big mistake for us. That's our only thing. But I will say this: that defense coming, man. That defense ain't gonna
stop Sarkisian's offense. That defense is not going to stop. The thing they can hope for is that they coming out of the Big 12. They didn't play no defense in the Big 12, and hopefully they can score on Texas defense. But now I don't care what defense it is, they're not stopping Sarkisian's offense. That ain't happening.
No, you're not. You're not. I mean, you're not. I mean, you got.
Offense.
I mean, there's 5 legitimate guys in college football that can score at will on you. You know, Sarkeesian is one. I mean,
Yes,
Lincoln
sir.
Riley is another. Hugh Freeze is another one. Lane Kiffin is another one. You know, those guys, they just know how to matriculate points on that board. I mean, they are offensive geniuses, you know, and like I said, one of the most underrated guys to me, in my opinion. I don't know why he's underrated. I guess because they say he play a lot and he still have childish ways. But Lane Kiffin can coach some offense, man.
Oh, he
You got to
can.
get it,
No
man.
doubt about it.
He can coach some offense.
He brought Alabama into the modern day football.
Yes,
And
Lord.
by the way, do you think Florida could steal him from Mississippi and bring him to Gainesville?
All the way. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna try to do, because see, Ole Miss just upped them to $9 million.
They're gonna try to give him $10 million contract.
They're gonna up the ante, because see, Ole Miss will match that. They'll match between 10 and 11 to keep him. But I'm going out on a limb and saying this: Florida gonna offer him 12 to 13. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. Because he had 9 right now.
Hunt. We got Mr. Ronald Hunt in the building. What's going on, Chuck?
Hey, Mr. Hunt, what's going on, sir?
Hello, how are you all doing on this evening? You know, football season is in full effect. Yeah, I heard you talking about TJ Finley. I saw him in the West Kentucky Alabama game, and you see who the receiver is. You bring it to the HBCU side. He
That kid from Alabama State.
Keyshawn Johnson. I saw him in that game.
Keyshawn Johnson, man. I mean, Keyshawn Johnson he's a legitimate. I mean, he's a legitimate, you know, guy. You know, 4 to 7 round guy. You know, you can't take away the talent. I mean, because he was a man child in the SWAC. You know, Eddie Robinson threw the ball to him twice a game, no more than 4 times, and he'll have 100 yards. You know, I just ain't never seen nothing like that. I'm like, the man got 2 catches and got 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. Why are you not throwing at this man? You know, so
that's why he left Alabama State.
Well, I mean, you know, the biggest thing right now is he gonna have to figure out that body situation. It's just something telling me, Mr. Ford, you guys, man, it's gonna be something behind that. It's gonna be something behind that. I just know it, because you got to understand. Let's talk about Andrew's quarterback coach. You know who his quarterback coach is? His quarterback coach is the same guy that coaches Shador in our season.
And Cam Ward.
Cam Ward. That is Andrew Body's quarterback coach.
Okay, who is the quarterback coach? What's his name?
I forget. I'll forget his name, but it's on their little website. You know,
it's not Whitfield Jr., is it?
It's not with no. You know, he too expensive right now. He's way too expensive right now. He's way too expensive right now. But yeah, they actually have the same QB coach, and they've had the same QB coach since their freshman year. Both of them freshman year. So I just really think it's probably gonna be something. I'm not trying to start anything, you know, I'm not trying to drop nothing, you know, trying to instigate anything, but I mean, oh man. And then, you know, what makes it so hypocritical is Texas Southern came out and won and beat PV.
Bubba McDowell better watch himself.
Man, oh my God, man. Yeah, it's gonna be something, man, because I mean, that's bare minimum body is USFL, bare minimum. And then the way he plays the game, he could go over there to Canada. They play that style of football over there. You know, with a quarterback running and throwing and, you know, all that type of stuff. So
that's where Warren Moon came from. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Body. I mean, Mr. Robinson. I don't know. I don't think Mr. Rick and his wife gonna take that line down. That's my own opinion. That's my own opinion on that. I hadn't talked to them. I don't know them like that, but I know that they love their son because they talk about him, you know, social media and all that type of stuff. So It's
They
gonna be
like our
something.
extended family. People in the HBCU world. You don't want him to beat your team, but the bodies are
It's
like
gonna be
extended family to those of the other schools fan base. They just love the body. They're a lovable group of people. People just gravitate towards them.
Yeah, cause see,
You got
I
to
mean,
remember, Eddie Robinson is a novice now. He's only been a head coach how many years?
3.
Third
This
year.
is
Okay.
third season.
This is
Yeah.
this is third season.
He's
This
never
is
been a
third
head coach
season.
before, right?
No, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
real estate.
All
He
right.
was in real
So
estate.
he's still learning.
Yeah, but
He's
that's
still
gonna
Just like
learning.
be
Eddie George, he was a
that's
business.
gonna be hard because you got to think. You might not like him. And I know he done had bad records because he was on bad teams in the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? But the talent is there, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna turn out. Because see, like I said, from the nuances is like I said, I've been in the game a long time, and I've never seen guys come back from tearing them shoulders up twice. I hadn't seen it. Maybe he got a little Wolverine in him. Maybe he got some Wolverine in him or something like that. Or
He got some adamantium in his body.
he better go get some of that vibranium from Wakanda, man, because you tell them. I mean, anything dealing with that rotator, man, more than once, man. That's kind of it, man. That's kind of it because I mean, you gotta think it probably hurts him to even take off his pads, his shoulder pads.
That's something to lose your star. This first game, to think about losing Andrew Body and think about LSU after the University of Southern California game, losing John Emery towards ACL. You losing your stars like that.
Yeah, John Emery. I like John Emery, man, but it was just something about him just didn't pan out because he was the number one running back in the nation.
Sure was.
But he didn't live up to it, man. I was very disappointed in that, man.
Yeah, I watched that game. Yeah, I watched both of those games.
But
yes.
There's a place on 1400 Lynch Street that once he healed himself, I think he would fit right on in. He'll still be a Tiger too, so just dropping that out there.
Hey, Brian Kelly probably really bang the table.
Well, I mean, this is the thing though, Mr. Hunt, man, and Mr. Ford and Doc.
Yeah.
I think that Brian Kelly's days are numbered at LSU.
It's coming.
Yeah. Because that's one of them. See, you know how Jackson State, FAMU, Southern, Grambling, those are like the blue bloods of the SWAC, right?
Those are pressure cooker jobs.
But see, LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, Ole Miss, those are blue bloods of the SEC.
Oh, they are.
You see what I'm saying? Those are blue bloods of the SEC. So that's a different type of blue blood. That's not a hurry up and wait job.
No, it's not.
That's a do now. I mean, because you got to think now. See, one reason why I think he shouldn't have taken that job, because number one, LSU is a very high pressure job. Ooh, but that's one of those teams. That's one of those schools in the SEC, like a Georgia, like a Florida. They don't have but one SEC school in that state, like Arkansas, Kentucky. Do you know how much pressure that is?
I live in Louisiana. I know that LSU.
That's the only SEC team in that state. Mississippi got two. Hell, at least Mississippi got two. Alabama got two. Tennessee got two. But when you thinking about like places like that, like Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, Arkansas, I mean, Kentucky, those are high pressure jobs, man, because you are the only game in that state.
Yeah, and Louisiana used to have two SEC schools, but they dropped that. They now yes, that's Tulane. Tulane used to be an SEC school,
Tulane
they used to be at one time, but now it's just LSU, and because Tulane is a school that's a private school, it's strong academics, and
and billions of dollars in that school.
I mean, but see the only thing that kind of hurt them as opposed to Vanderbilt is because with Tulane, they're kind of like that Notre Dame-ish, Stanford-ish. They are
Stanford,
not dropping
Duke,
Stanford. They are
Northwestern.
not dropping. They are not dropping their academics for nobody.
Yeah,
It's either
Northwestern,
you know,
Rice.
you're not, they don't care who you are. You can be a 5-star kid, which I was talking to one of my partners, guy Wendell Well, he's actually official. He's an official, he's on a floating crew for Auburn. He stays down there in Mobile, and his cousin is Deuce Knight, down
Okay.
there on the coast. Yeah, he's one of the #1 quarterbacks coming out next year. And Mr. Ford, guess how much
Mhm.
this boy got a high school NIL deal? High school.
Yeah.
They get that
Louisiana
boy.
has high school NIL.
They gave that boy. They gave that boy $609,000 about 3 weeks ago.
And what's
Yeah,
his high
Louisiana
school?
has.
George County down there on the coast of Mississippi.
Okay.
Louisiana has NIL.
Yes. His name is Deuce Knight. He committed to Notre Dame, but his dad went to Auburn, and one of my partners was telling me that he still has his commitment, although he can get into Notre Dame because he's a 4.6 student. He already made like a 32 on ACT. He's a smart guy as well. 5-star quarterback.
Mhm.
He's 6'5". Deuce Knight 6'5", about 220.
Okay.
And can throw it out. He done made first team all. He done made his 10th grade year. He made second team all state. Last year he made first team all state, and this year he'll probably be the player of the year. And he just signed a $609,000 with you have heard of Stennis Space Center
Mm-mm.
down there. Stennis Space Center down there on the coast of Mississippi. The big down there on that naval base down there in Biloxi.
Okay.
They got that naval base, and they got Stennis. They got Stennis, and he signed an NIL deal in high school, $609,000.
That was named after John Stennis.
John Stennis.
Yeah, I remember John Stennis. Yeah, I remember him.
So, and he's committed to go to Notre Dame, but like I said, it just shows you that a lot of these schools, they are just not going to drop their academic standards. They're just not going to do it. I mean,
Rice is that way. Think about Rice.
I mean, hell, Duke not gonna do it.
Duke
ain't gonna do it.
SMU for a long time said they wasn't gonna do it until they kind of relaxed a little bit, but at the same time, they prefer academics over athletics. So, but
they must have relaxed it during the Pony Express days. Is that the day?
No. So after after the death penalty, and when they came back,
when
they came back, Kenneth A. Powell, who was the president at the time, he was stringent. He's like, I ain't getting nobody who don't even meet. You can have a 3.9, and if I feel like you don't meet the academic requirements, that you feel like that you ain't gonna be able to finish at SMU, I don't want you.
But you gotta understand now, SMU is a true Methodist school.
That's a Methodist.
That's a true Methodist school. So I mean, you ain't going. I mean, how far are you gonna get with that? I mean, just like Notre Dame, that's a true Catholic school. How far are you really gonna go? But they're not gonna drop that for anybody when the CEO of NBC is a graduate of your school.
So the thing about
George W. Bush's wife.
When it comes down to it, and so like I was saying, like with SMU, when it came down to it, it's like, look, we gonna get academics is gonna come because we gonna get the best and the brightest of everybody, not just from the city of Dallas, but from everywhere, right? But at the same time, we cannot have our athletics suffer like that because kids now they pay attention to what's going on the gridiron, what goes on the basketball court. Would say what goes on baseball, but SMU ain't got no baseball team. But at the same time, they looking at that and like, look, it's the same way that Miami's a private school.
It's private school.
Yeah, it's a private school. They
That's a
winning
private
all the
school.
national championships.
Yeah,
Them kids is looking at
small private school.
yeah. Them kids is
Yeah,
looking at. I want to go there too.
but Miami now, come on now. I mean,
Yeah,
you
But you get what I'm saying. But you get what I'm
for
saying
yeah,
though.
yeah, I get what you're
You get
saying,
what
but
I'm saying.
you can come through the back door now with them now. You can.
Right.
You come through
Right.
the back door.
And the best thing about, so here's the thing, and this is what I'm seeing, like with SMU, with Miami, the best thing about what happened with Miami, like when they getting their athletes, they went to the inner city and got their athletes.
They did. They did.
they did. He went to Liberty City. Liberty
and went to
City.
Liberty
Yeah,
City.
yeah.
Carol
I
City, and they
mean,
overtime.
Howard
When they went
Schnellenberger started that.
you got the lock. See, you got the lock down there. You got Boynton Beach. You got Liberty City. I mean, you got a
Overtown.
couple kids overtime. Yeah, and then you got
Yeah.
Opelika down there too. So I
Opelika.
mean,
Yeah,
you got.
I went
I
down
mean,
there
you got a
in
bunch of
2021.
inner city kids, man. That I mean, they going to the country chasing rabbits. You remember they did a story on that. You remember that on ESPN? They did a story.
Mhm.
They was asking them kids like, how did y'all get so fast? Like, oh, we just go into the lagoon. We just go into the lagoon and chase rabbits. I said, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, and then so like the same thing with, like I said, with the same thing with SMU. SMU going into the inner city. Shoot, I promise you, it's so many kids from South Oak Cliff that's at SMU right now, or over at North Texas, or over at TCU. With TCU is a private school also.
My oldest brother graduated from North Texas.
So yeah, so like
That's a
look
good
at it,
school.
like
That's a really good school.
you gotta. Like you gotta, if you trying to survive in this game, especially on college football, you trying to survive in this game.
Mm-hmm.
You got to try to go out there and play with the big boys. So if that means that you have to go away from your laws a little bit, and bring this kid up in here, maybe say he got a 3.5. But you don't know if this kid gonna graduate in 4 years.
Yeah,
The kid got to go out there and do it. He got to be.
See, that's another thing. I mean, you got to think school, like you just said, schools like Notre Dame and all of them. You got to look at their attrition rate.
Yeah,
starting from freshman year to a senior, they don't care about you foregoing your last year to go to the draft, but you better have that degree. When you forego that, because they had, they talk to those students, they talk about attrition. They talk about that, when you first come there in freshman orientation.
It's just like, it's just like this with Mr. Ford, like with Georgia Tech.
Oh man, that's another one. That's another one. Right.
Georgia Tech ain't no private school, but it's a state supported
institution.
I've
been on that campus.
Institution, but I bet you this. I bet you somebody like Chris Bosch, who came from Hutchins, Texas, that played at Lincoln High School. I bet you if he wasn't into engineering, he wasn't gonna go to no damn Georgia Tech. And I bet you if he didn't come out his freshman year,
that went to Georgia Tech.
You gotta think, man.
If he didn't come out his freshman year,
Kenny Anderson, Dennis Scott. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, with this,
Lamar Shumpert went to Georgia Tech. Come on,
there was a guy from right here in Monroe went to Georgia Tech. Theodis Tarver played under Paul Hewitt. He was on the team that went to the Final Four.
I remember.
No,
that was a guy. You remember the guy from Moss Point, Mississippi, Jarius Jackson. He played. Jarius Jackson played quarter. Yeah, he was quarterback. He was a quarterback for. He was a quarterback. Came from Moss Point years ago, and he was a quarterback at Georgia Tech.
Bosch was on that team.
Was that Reggie Ball? Reggie Ball.
Reggie Ball. Yeah,
from Moss Point, right?
He's from Moss Point.
Reggie Ball was from Stevenson High School in DeKalb County.
I thought somebody was from.
I know Jarius Jackson is from Moss Point.
Okay, from
Moss he's from Moss Point. Yeah, Jarius Jackson.
You got somebody like Calvin Johnson. Come on now, like
Calvin Johnson.
I know you talking about Doc. You talking about Leroy Hurd. Remember Leroy Hurd went to Miami. He was a QB. He went to Miami. He from Moss Point. Yeah, Leroy Hurd. We call him Roy. Mm-hmm.
And so my thing is, if you the way you gotta do stuff like this, like when Boston College, we know Boston College. I call Boston College and Penn State is linebacker U. Boston College is linebacker U for the Catholic for the private schools. But you got a dude like
Bill
Luke
O'Brien
Kuechly coming out of there under Bill O'Brien's system. And
I mean, you got the
like
list goes on and on.
you just
Arlington,
gotta,
you got Big Arlington came from there. I mean, you got Keyjana Carter came from there. I mean, you had some stars. I mean, hell, look at what's the name for just got traded to Philadelphia. What's his name? Running back. Saquon. Yeah. I mean, Penn State has never lacked for talent. Never.
But what I'm saying is,
I've been watching Penn State for over 30 years, almost 40 years.
It's the way how everything is, because you're trying to get these kids. That's the reason why Clemson is suffering the way, because Dabo is too damn stubborn to go into the transfer portal to try to improve his football team. You were just in the national championship games 5-6 years ago. And
Dabo's not old. Yeah, he's in his mid-50s. It's not like he's Nick Saban's son. This man's still in his 50s. He's a 92 national championship team at Alabama.
Right. And so what I'm saying is,
he's stubborn.
You got to let that stubbornness go, because once your fan base is gone.
Well, I mean, but this the thing though, Dabo. But see, I know this is not popular, but if Dabo wants to continue to coach, he will be able to. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest. He will. He might not get a Clemson type job, but and I think he made a big mistake by signing that contract, that big huge extension, because when Nick Saban left, that job was his. I mean, that was money in the bank for Dabo.
He's like 19 national championship.
I mean, you got to think he was on that team. He actually played 92. On that team. Yeah, he played with George T.
George T. Antonio Langham, Sam Shade, the coach at Miles. They all,
they was all on that team.
Yeah.
I mean, remember Biscuit? Biscuit was on that team.
Yeah, the guy, he has a radio talk show. I talked to him daily on his talk show at Martin Houston. Fullback.
Oh, Biscuit was 89. He was 89, right?
Yeah, Biscuit played. He started out with Bear Bryant and then he ended with Ray Perkins. He didn't play with.
He didn't play with them. So that was what, 87?
Right?
Yeah.
What year did Biscuit leave? Was it 87, 88, 89?
I can't remember what year, but I know he played for Ray Perkins. Biscuit ended when Biscuit left. Derek Thomas was like a freshman or something.
They played for Ray Perkins.
Yeah, they played for Ray Perkins.
I remember when he married. I remember he married one of the baddest women to ever come through Tuskegee, Kim McGuffey. Yeah. Man, she was Miss Tuskegee, man. Lord, how much?
He played for UT, didn't he?
He did.
He played for University of Tennessee.
He did. Yeah.
He came here and played for Dan Reeves. He played for the Falcons.
Who was that?
Biscuit. Cornelius Bennett. He came here and played for the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
Cornelius Bennett. Yeah, played with Buffalo Bills.
Dan Reeves.
Cornelius Bennett, man. You got to think. He was part of him. Leon Seals for 2 years. I mean, they was part of them 4 straight.
With the Bills.
They was part of them 4 straight. They was part of them 4 straight. We called them the 4 corner hustlers. Yeah, because they didn't win not a one.
Yeah,
and they were going every year.
But won. They should have beat the Giants one year.
Yeah, they should have. Because that game you talking about, Mr. Ford, that's when that's when Thomas went off that game.
Yeah,
he went off. But remember, they had knocked what's the name out the game? Kelly. They had knocked him out the game.
Kelly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My homeboy was on that Giants championship team out of school here in my area. Wasserman played at Northwestern State in Louisiana. Dessa Turner was on that Giants championship team.
I remember Dessa Turner. Oh, yeah. I remember.
Right here in my neighborhood at Wasserman High School. Yes. Here in Monroe.
Wasserman, man.
And when you think,
what is Bernard Benjamin doing now? Is he around?
Ben, he's
Yeah,
around. You see him here and there. He's here. He's just around now. Ben played at the same high school as James Shack Harris, Carroll High School, and
yeah,
Jackie
Karen.
Walker. They
Yeah,
all played there. And Ben is just around now. I just it's hard to say about him. It's just I'm just leave it at that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had that discussion the other day. I mean, Monroe has always produced talent. You know what I'm
Yes, they
saying?
have, baby. Yes,
They
have.
all, because like I said, I know it was better players than him. But when I was talking to Mr. Hunt the other day, a real good guy that I saw, that's when I knew they had talent, because when they had Jamie Spencer back then,
Jamie Spencer.
I said,
Yeah,
man,
Cub
he was
Scout.
a
We grew up together.
he was a
Know each other's
he was a can't
Notre Dame.
miss. No, he went straight to Notre Dame. He was a can't miss product.
Smart guy.
Yeah, he was a can't miss. So they produce him, man. I mean, but Louisiana. Football gets no better than the South, man. I mean, you had to go like California. You had to go, because you think about it per capita. Think about all the players Mississippi has produced. That's even in the NFL right now. I mean, that's in there now. I mean, you got to think. They have 4 players. We got 5 players from the state of Mississippi, right? That's arguably, depending on the barbershop talk, that was the best at their position. You got Walter Payton, you got Jerry Rice, you got Brett Favre, you got Jackie Slater, you got Ray Guy.
Yeah.
2 of them guys came from USM. 2 of them guys came from Jackson State. So, I mean, and then you got to think now, back in Mr. Ford day, and Mr. Ford can attest to this, we could throw Lynn Barney into that conversation.
Oh yeah.
That was before we did the prime time, you had Lynn Barney shutting down the whole side. I mean, you had 2 guys back then. I mean,
what about the duo from Alcorn? You got
Ike Holt and Milton Mack.
Isaac Holt, and you had
Milton Mack.
Frazier. Yeah,
Leslie Frazier.
I'm a Chicago Bears diehard fan. Bear down, Caleb Williams. Let's go. I mean, Leslie Frazier is going to always have a special place in my heart, because he was a starter and an All-Pro on the 85 Bears. If you started on that, if you got playing time on that team, I'm gonna respect you forever. I know people talk about Ron Rivera. They were like, oh, he's this and that. Look, man, that man is an 85 Bear, man, and he started. Anybody that started on that team right there, man, come on, man. I mean, that was a team. Man. That was a team, man.
I watched that season. They were fun to watch. Even if you're not a fan of the Bears, you just enjoy it. They were fun to watch. Buddy Ryan had a great defense.
Isaac Holt won him a Super Bowl with my Cowboys, so I can't say anything bad about it.
Oh, Ike Holt. Oh man, that was a lockdown corner.
That 85 Bear team redefined defense, because instead of the linebackers reading and reacting, he was bringing them downhill. That was Otis Wilson, Wilbur Marshall, and the guy from Baylor.
And Mike Singletary.
Yeah. They redefined defensive football in the NFL. Buddy Ryan them changed defensive football and the philosophy of defensive football.
Yeah.
I mean, because you couldn't go over the top. You couldn't go on you couldn't go underneath, because you remember our defensive line was just a terror.
Yeah, the only somebody that could match up with. Remember, the Dolphins went to the 2-step drop with Marino. That's the only game they lost.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we lost 37-19. I still remember the score. I mean, Dan Marino lit us up. I mean, because
what they did, they only let him drop 2 steps. He would 2-step drop and get rid of it, because you
remember he was the one. Remember, Shula was the orchestrator. Remember, he was the orchestrator. You know how they be saying quarterbacks need to get it out 2 seconds? He was the orchestrator of that. You remember, because back then you had the trenches was so built up back then that you can go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 and get it out. But what he did with us, when he had Duper and Clayton, they would get that ball out and they would run like wiggle routes, comeback routes, and they took it to the house on them. They did.
Now, you got some people in Philadelphia who maintain that defense that had Reggie White, the guy that Jerome Brown. What's the other guy's name? The white boy from Notre Dame. He used to be on with Golick.
Mike Golick.
They claim that defense was the equivalent of that 85 defense. Yeah, that's a big argument about that. Because, some of them
talking about the defense, Reggie White.
The gang, they call it gang green. They call it gang green.
Yeah, that was a gang green defense.
Yeah,
gang green. I know it was coached. I know because the defense was coached by Buddy Ryan at the time, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, because Buddy always said the greatest defensive lineman was Reggie White. Remember, Reggie White was the greatest defensive lineman of all time.
Remember, because Mike Dicker was going to go ahead and retire like a couple years after that. And remember, we had promised Buddy Ryan the job, but then found out he wasn't going to get the job, and that's when he went to Philadelphia.
He went to Philly. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I remember that.
They lifted both of them down in the Superdome. They lifted both.
And he took that defense with him, and the Grizzly Bear from University of Tennessee, which they got a statue up there for him. Man, Reggie White, man. If it wouldn't be for a guy by the name of Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White would have been the best.
Oh yeah, I saw LT.
Ravens defense is in that conversation too. Yes,
that 2000 Ravens defense.
They were some dogs, man. Everybody. I love those type of defense where everybody attack, and that's why
quarterback was sorry. It was that boy that's the coach at UAB. He was so sorry.
He a Super Bowl champion. He a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, he couldn't throw one pass, and that was to Shannon Shaw.
But he got it off. But he was Super Bowl. But see, he was Super Bowl champion. But he got it off the back of a defense. Of a dominant defense. I can't.
Well, I mean, but you can name several. I mean, my guy Jim McMahon did it, and then let's not talk about. I mean, come on, let's be real.
What's that, guys?
That true Tampa 2. That I call it the true Tampa 2. When you had Sapp and Derek Brooks and all them guys, I mean,
Rondé Barber,
they quarterback was nothing. Who was the quarterback of Tampa Bay?
Let's go back to that Tampa 2 thing. Just remember that they stole that from Tennessee State from old man Gillum, who created the Tampa 2 is nothing but a double zone. They created the double zone at Tennessee State trying to stop Bob Hayes. They took it to the NFL because the other portion of it was called the bump and run. And the credit for that was given to Money Kippen them, but actually that was created on the campus of Tennessee State under Joe Gilliam Sr. He was the defense coordinator that came up with that.
Yeah.
Tampa 2. The Tampa 2.
But it was originally called the double zone, and they created it trying to stop Bob Hayes because nobody could match up with Bob Hayes when he was remember, Bob Hayes was the world's fastest human as a student at Florida A&M.
Yeah. Yeah,
man, Bob Hayes was so fast that you can actually hear the wind blowing when he running. That's how fast this man was.
And the thing about it was he had those very small feet, but he had them giant calf muscles. His feet were very small.
I mean, Bob Hayes, but my favorite of all time. And I'm not a FAMU fan, but my favorite player that I ever seen, and I go back and watch because you can pull them up on YouTube now. I think somebody downloaded from VHS. Man, that Ken Riley was a man. Look at him. Man, look, man.
You remember the guy on the other side of it? The other guy was a black college guy's name was Lamar Parrish.
Lamar Parrish, but Ken Riley was just, man, man, look, man.
Man, when I was a little boy, Ken Riley played quarterback for Florida A&M. He was a quarterback for Jay Pinkett.
Yeah.
Man, that
Kid Riley had like 65 interceptions. All
Yeah, he did.
Mhm.
He did.
Yeah, I saw that record.
He
And
did.
they kept him out there. The other guy that the black colleges should be fighting for right now is Otis Taylor and Harold
Otis Taylor.
Jackson.
Mhm.
Otis
I
Taylor
agree.
should be
I
in that
mean,
Hall of
Jackson
Fame and
State,
Harold Jackson.
Mr. Ford, Jackson State
Otis Taylor
actually
made Len
has
Dawson
two.
look good.
They actually got two guys that legitimately should be Hall of Fame.
The other
You
one
got
is Jimmy Smith.
yeah, you got the first wide receiver during the running phase that ever had 10,000 yards, which was Harold Jackson, and you got Jimmy Smith. Yeah, you can talk about the personal and all that because if you want to bring up the personal, then Showtime, Michael Irvin wouldn't be in there. A lot of them wouldn't be in there.
No, they wouldn't be.
But at the end of the day, Jimmy Smith and Harold Jackson needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
It's
Oh, yeah,
definitely
I agree.
Harold
Otis
Jackson.
Taylor.
But you know the reason why Michael Irvin got
Otis Taylor made Len Dawson look good.
Yeah, Otis Taylor was the man. There's no
He made Len
listen.
Dawson.
Look at Otis Taylor's stats and look at them people's stats in the Hall of Fame. His stats are better.
Yeah.
But you know
But the reason they holding out on Otis Taylor is because he jumped on that white man Ben Davison on national TV in the '60s.
Yeah, he did. He did that. He did that, and it was live too. When my father was living, he was talking about it. He said, man, he's like said it, man. He said, because he's common man. He said, little man, he made a mistake. He said, but that was a great player there. He always used to talk about him.
Otis Taylor.
And he was on some great Prairie View teams too. I think his last 2 years they went undefeated.
Yeah.
My father was in college at Grambling when Taylor was playing at Prairie View. My father was in the band at Grambling.
Oh yeah.
He remember the Jackson State 6'2" team as well. With
that's that boy Willie Richardson. Them they went and played FAMU twice in the Orange Blossom Classic. They lost the first one and won. That's John Merritt because John Merritt left Tennessee. Left Jackson and went to Tennessee State.
He went to Tennessee State. Yep.
Yeah.
This is this thing right here. This is what Mr. Campbell said. He said the same issue Chris Carter had, Jimmy Smith had, and he should be in the Hall of Fame.
He should. No doubt about it. Look, Uncle Campbell, I have no debate with that. Because at one time, you got to understand, this is the only guy that had stomach problems, had an appendectomy surgery performed, went to an expansion team and killed. I'm talking about went to an expansion team, and you remember when him and Keenan McCardell, remember they almost went to they went to the Super Bowl. So man, Jimmy Smith, you could talk about the personal, whatever you want to say, but when that man was in that league, man, you couldn't stop Jimmy Smith. You couldn't stop him.
First time I saw him, he came to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. His quarterback, I think, last name was Jordan. They came here to Jackson State and played Alabama State.
It was Ricky Jordan. Ricky Jordan.
Yeah, that's the first time I saw
Ricky Jordan. Matter of fact, Ricky Jordan was because I grew up in President Hills. He was from this neighborhood. He was from this what we call it a neighborhood, but it was really a town. It's called East Flora. But now, they migrated it now into, Madison now, and there's no such thing as Flora anymore. But yeah, he came from East Flora. Ricky Jordan, that was his name. Ricky Jordan. Yeah. So
was Lester Holmes on that team? Wasn't Lester Holmes on that team?
Lester Holmes was on that team. Lester Holmes was on that team. Yeah. You got to think now. That was the team that went down there to USM, and USM with Brett Favre had to cheat them.
Yeah, I remember that
think about who they. Mr. Ford, do you remember this name? Remember Darian Connor?
Atlanta Falcons.
He came to the Falcons.
That was on that. That was the team.
Yeah, Jerry drafted him.
That was the team. That was the same guy.
Darren went second round. He came second round.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had Mike Pritchard in there.
We talking about the same Darian Connor that got hawked down by Larry Allen, by Big Larry Allen.
Big Larry Allen. Big Larry, he was a freak of nature, though. He was a freak
Connor
of
was
nature.
here with
Larry Allen.
Houston Hoover.
Rest in
Remember
peace,
Houston
brother.
Hoover?
Yeah, I remember Houston Hoover. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you on that.
Yeah, played with the Falcons.
Houston was close with Dion.
Yeah,
Remember the running back? Remember the running back that broke Walter Payton record? You remember Lewis Tillman?
I was at the game when he broke it on Graham.
Yeah.
Broke it in '88 on
Lewis
Graham.
is from Hazelhurst, I think. Hazelhurst, Mississippi.
Hazelhurst, Mississippi. Yeah, Hazelhurst, Mississippi.
Yeah, he went to the
I was at the
Giants.
game when he broke Peyton's record on broke it on Graham in '88. I was at that game. That's when the two Tigers got into a fight at halftime. Wavy Dave and Graham and Tiger got into a fight. I saw it. Just got paid by Johnny Kip was playing, but Jackson State played it. Man, Wavy Dave knocked his head off.
Well, my friend, I ain't gonna lie, that's DD. That's old school DD there, man. He got that from being a Cowboy back then, man. Wavy Day got into it with the. Well, I was a little bitty boy, man. Wavy Day got into it with the Gremlin Tiger. He got into it with the Delta Devil. He got into it with the Alcorn Brave. He got into it with the Tennessee State Tiger. Wavy Day was a fighter. He was a fighter, man.
He got into it. He in one of the Grambling band directors. He pushed one of the Grambling band directors.
Yeah, Wavy Day.
Let me ask you, whatever happened to Perry Harrington?
Perry Harrington, he ended up leaving. He played a couple years of pro ball, right? And then he ended up going.
He went to the Eagles.
He did. Yeah, but he went back. He came home and went to law school.
Okay, so he's in Jackson now.
No, Perry, Mr. Harrington. Well, Mr. Harrington. I'm sorry, Mr. Harrington had been in Houston for a long time. Yep.
What about Ricky Patton? Remember Ricky Patton?
Yes, sir. I don't know what happened to Ricky Patton.
What happened? Yeah, I remember Ricky came into the Falcons for a minute, but he left here and went to the 49ers and got about 3 or 4 rings. Yeah,
but you gotta understand back then, Mr. Ford. I mean, SWAC was putting out some players, and especially under W.C. Gordon, he wasn't getting it, man. That was like an NFL game.
Yeah,
I mean, it was up under W.C. Gordon, man. He wasn't getting it, man. I mean,
in '78 when Fam came out there in the semifinals of the 1AA championship and played, it was Fam against Jackson. Did you go to that game?
No, so I was on 2. I was 2. I was 2. I was number 2.
I watched that. Y'all had a boy named Robert Hartburn Hardy. You remember him?
I mean, but you got to think now. You got to think. Hardy came. I mean, you got to think there was a bunch of Hardys that came through Jackson State. Remember Buster Hardy played for the. Remember Buster Hardy, tight end, played for the Saints. With he played with he was what's the name tight end Eli them dead. Archie Manning, Buster Hardy. Yeah, Buster Hardy. Yeah. And it's so crazy. And you got to think back then, because, my mom is from Mendenhall. And, Mendenhall produced a gang of athletes that came to Jack State. Matter of fact, my deceased uncle, Mac Miley, he played with Walter Payton. And, he was 4 times all SWAC. And his best friend, before he died was Jackie Slater. Yeah, right. Mac Miley, and then my uncle was there too, Larry Pop Smith.
Now, what about Payton's wife? She was from Walter Payton's wife. Where was she from?
Who, Miss Connie? Miss Connie was from Collins.
And she was a J-Sam. Was she a J-Sam?
Yeah. She was the leader of the J-Sam. Yeah, she was the leader. Yeah, my mom and her, they were roommates.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, they both were J-Sams.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they both were J-Sams.
Now, you had a president that eventually went up to Tennessee State. He was
James
Hefner. Right. What was his name?
James Hefner.
Hefner,
Yeah,
right.
That's right. James Hefner, Q-Dog, Mr. Dr. Hefner.
Dr.
rest in
Hefner,
peace,
that's right. I know
Because
you
remember for years, Jackson State, started with John A. Peoples. You remember that they always hired. They always hired. I think he just turned 92. I think not too long ago. But you remember they always
Dr. Peoples.
they always used to hire. They always used to.
He's older than that.
He's older than that. Dr. Peters.
99. I'm sorry, 99.
Peoples
No,
close to
he's 98. He's 98.
he's close to
98. Yeah. But anyway, we used to have a problem with that because remember they used to hire the Q Dogs always used to be the Jackson State president, so we used to get mad about that. Yeah.
Hey, now you remember when they say that Marina Cassim and Bob Hill got to fighting at a game?
Yeah, they tore Chasm's shirt. From where
that was that the 70s or in the 60s?
In the 70s. That was in the 70s.
That was in the 70s. They could have got to fight at midfield or something.
I didn't know that.
On the 50-yard line, they got into a fight before the game. Yeah.
How Bob Hill fight the Godfather like that? Come on.
Yeah, they got into a fight.
He and Bob Hill got into it.
They said Bob Hill. Bob Hill used to curse his sailor. Dad told me, he said, Grammy, he accused Grammy of cheating. They said
Crook, I just said I was 2 years old, Crook. I wasn't at that game. I was 2 years old, man. I'm not old, man. I was 2 years old. I wasn't there. Yeah, I wasn't there.
Yeah. I'm a year older than you are, Cedric. Yeah, no,
I turned 48 this summer. I turned 48.
You know, Jackson State had a quarterback in the 70s named Taylor. He was from Georgia. Was it Ricky Taylor? He was from Waycross, Georgia. Do y'all remember him? Ricky Taylor. He was from He had a brother play quarterback for Florida A&M, and another brother played for Southern. But he played for Jackson State in the late 70s, early 80s. His name was Ricky Taylor. He was from Waycross, Georgia.
But you gotta remember, Mr. Ford, in the swag, let's just be honest. I mean, some of the best quarterbacks always went to Jackson State. I mean, you remember Jackson State for a long time. I mean, you had John McKenzie, you had Ricky Jordan, you had Ricky Jordan, you had, and then one of my favorite was, shout out to my frat brother. I mean, Sean Gregory. Remember Sean Gregory? Used to wear the number one. Used to wear the number one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You remember Chris Burkett?
Chris Burkett, yeah.
Shannon Boyd.
Shannon Boyd, yeah.
Wasn't it one named Brinkley? Then it was a quarterback named Brinkley?
You had a lot of guys. You got to think. You had Bill Bishop. You had guys, man, back then. Because Bill Bishop came as a running back, but then they switched from the quarterback back to running back. Jackson State has always had quarterbacks. So. That's just one of those things. Yeah.
Even when I got to school, man, the quarterback I seen was Graylin Pratt.
Pratt, from Michigan.
But remember, Jim, you had Mark Washington.
Yeah, Mark Washington.
Pratt was from up north. Pratt was from Michigan, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's from Michigan.
He was from Michigan. He went to
Grand Rapids.
Yeah,
he was from Grand Rapids. But remember, he got bused. He got bused to Detroit Mercy. Remember that high school, Detroit Mercy? Yeah, he got bused to that school. Yeah.
Y'all had a big defensive end came out of Flint, Michigan, went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. What was his name? He should have been with Pratt now, or maybe a little bit younger than Pratt.
Oh, you talking about Marcus Bernard?
He was a big defensive end. He left Jackson and went to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think that you're talking about Bernard because
Marcus Bernard. He went to the Jaguars. Then he got traded to the Cleveland Browns.
That sounds like him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's him.
No, that's him. Fernando Smith. That's him.
Fernando Smith was a dog.
He was from where? He was from up north, right?
Yeah, he was from up north, but he played at JSU.
He was from Flint, Michigan or somewhere, right?
Man, look, them dudes, man. You gotta understand, man. I was a Mr. Ford. I was a 5-year-old, 6-year-old kid going, because my dad, he was a judge, right? So we could get into the, closed practices and stuff. Man, it's like an NFL game back then, man.
Oh yeah.
Man, you had guys getting knocked out in practice, right? And I remember Big Daddy, because he was coordinator back then.
Yeah.
And Coach Judge, because because they'd say Judge, but they were talking about my daddy, but the other guy, Judge, he would always answer. Man, I used to see guys, man, and you know what W.C. Gordon used to say back then? He'd be like, oh, man, throw some dirt on him. He'll be all right. Give him some water. Give him some Gatorade. Throw some dirt on him. Get back out there. Yeah, it was crazy.
You know what's so funny, though? So sophomore, I had took a PE class just to make sure I had something for an elective. And Judge was my instructor.
Oh, okay.
He was still over the because he was still over the deep. He was still over the defense before he at the time before he became head coach.
Right.
Head coach after Carson. Yeah, Carson got sick.
After he got sick and he passed away.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so crazy and stuff because I like Coach Judge, man. What you gonna do about your defense? I always ask, like we go to class, I always ask him the question, what you gonna do about your defense? And he'd be like, shoot, I don't know what to tell him, but they better go out there and knock somebody's damn head off. And he do it in the most jokingly, like he do it the most jokingly way, but at the same time, he was serious. But yeah, when I got in, we talking about Graylin Pratt was my quarterback my freshman year, and then Mark Washington for those 2 years, my sophomore and my junior year, and then TC was quarterback for a little bit, and then they switched over.
TC was quarterback.
Listen, so now y'all remember Cardale Jones was the head coach at Alcorn. He was on Jackson State staff. You remember that?
Yeah, Coach Jones.
His son played Darryl played with Lewis Tillman.
Yeah. But he left Jackson and went to Alcorn, right? As a head coach.
Yeah, sure did.
So Coach Jones, he had my cousin for 1 year. My cousin redshirted our freshman year at Alcorn.
Y'all talking about old Cardale Jones? I mean, but but think about it though, Mr. Ford. You missing out on one. You missing out on another guy that was on that staff too. Now,
who was that?
Archie Cooley.
Yeah, that's right.
Archie Cooley was on it.
What about the guy that became the big-time coach at Alabama State? See, when I was at Grambling, he was the offensive coordinator.
Markham.
Yeah, Markham. Houston Markham.
Yeah, Houston Markham. You got to think, Coach Gordon had an all-star staff. I mean, he had some of the best future head coaches all on his staff. Remember, he had Houston Markham.
Coach Pete?
Yeah, Melvin.
Yeah, Coach Pete. Coach Pete was on there. Melvin Pete. You had Archie Cooley. You had Houston Markham. You had James Big Daddy Carson. You had Judge. Yeah. You had Judge on that. They were all on the same staff.
Was Kelly with them? Remember, it was a defensive back coach named Kelly.
Yeah, Robert Kelly.
Yeah, was he on that?
Robert Kelly.
Because Robert Kelly was on the staff.
I remember him.
Let me ask you this. Whatever happened to Sam Jefferson? Remember, Sam was the SID. Is Sam still around?
Sam Jefferson. Yeah, he was.
He from my neighborhood. I was from what you call President Hill / Natchez Trace. Yeah, he died. He died years ago. I went to school with his son Sam Jefferson Jr.
Okay, yeah.
We played basketball. We played basketball together.
I met Sam in the 80s, I think, at an NCAA conference. He was there.
Sam
Jefferson. Yeah, matter of fact, just to give y'all some information, they actually have a petition out. I was talking to my mom about 2 days ago. Well, actually yesterday. I mean 2 days. Yeah, 2 days ago because her birthday on the 4th. And she was telling me that she just signed a petition. They trying to rename. They gonna rename the street that I grew up on after my dad, and the street that Mr. Jefferson was on. They renaming the street in President Hills after him as well. So they about to kill 2 streets that's presidents. You know what I'm saying? Because President Hills, all the streets were named after presidents, but you know. So yeah, they just signed a petition. It's about to go before
the AD by the name of Dr. Walter Reed. Is he still around?
Worked at Jackson.
That's an old.
FAMU.
Yeah, Mr. Dr. Reed. Dr. Reed, man, I don't know where he is.
Around?
I hadn't heard that name in a while because we just lost. You remember we just lost Dr. McLemore not too long ago from Jackson State.
Okay.
Remember Leslie?
He left Jackson and went to Florida A&M.
Sure did.
Mm-hmm. He did. Yeah. I don't know what happened. I don't know. You had to ask Mr. Campbell that.
Mr. Campbell said he's still alive. He said yes. Walter Reed is still alive.
Yeah, he's still around.
I got an echo on my thing.
Yeah. So you had to ask him that. But yeah, man. I mean, we could talk. I mean, like I said, we can go historical, man, because I mean that staff that W.C. Gordon had. I mean, you got to think everybody that he created, those guys went on to win individually SWAC championships.
Do you remember Lester Fonville? He was a 7-foot center for Jackson State.
Funville.
Lester Fonville. He played in the mid 80s. He was like a 7-foot center for Jackson State.
I don't remember.
Mid 80s.
In mid 80s, yeah, he was 7 feet. He was 7 feet tall.
I'm gonna ask Jackie Walker. I talk to him daily on the phone. I'll ask him about him.
Yeah, ask him about whatever happened to him.
Okay.
But you got to think. I mean, Jackson State always had big players because you remember, they had one of the biggest and tallest punters, in American football. You remember Ike Iozzi, the African dude?
Yeah, I remember Ike Iozzi. Yeah, that's what I can call it. Well,
that dude was like 6'4".
Eugene and Purvis Short. Did you see them?
My uncle played with them. Larry Pop Smith. That was my uncle. He played with them. Larry Pop Smith. That's my uncle. You remember I told y'all a couple of years ago that I had to take care of my uncle.
Right.
That was Larry Pop Smith. Yeah. That's my mom. That's my mom's youngest brother.
I'm looking at the game right now on Peacock. And they taking Jordan Love off the field.
Yeah, I see that Blue just said something.
In a stretcher?
Nah, he walking. They got him walking up, but Malik Willis coming into the game for the last 6 seconds of the game.
Well, I don't like nobody to get hurt. Go Bears, bear down. We finna run through that. We finna run through them now.
That's your livelihood.
But now, Mr. Ford, that was my uncle, man. That's my mom's blood, because my mom maiden name is Smith. Yeah, that's her blood brother. Yeah, so Pop Smith.
You saw them battles when the great basketball coach would come up from Alcorn.
Dave Whitney. See, when my Uncle Pop, we used to call him Uncle Pop, but when my Uncle Pop was in school, I was number like 2 years old. Right. I didn't get a chance to see, Purvis Short and Eugene Short. I didn't get a chance to see them because I was still a baby.
Did you see Dave Whitney, coach?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think I seen
that. Matter of fact, my babysitter, his wife used to babysit me when I was a baby. Now, Andy Stockland's wife. I mean, not Andy Stockland, but Andy Stockland. Yeah. So
now,
he
just died, right? Did Andy Stockland didn't he die this year?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I sent some flowers. I couldn't really take it. Yeah. I couldn't take it.
He had Lindsey Hunter them, right?
Shoot,
Yeah.
yes he did.
Yeah.
Yes he did.
Yeah. Let's see. Before we roll up out of here, we got a lot of games tomorrow. Catch the first game, Texas versus Michigan tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
It's in the big house. What else we got? We got the Colorado Nebraska game. That's the prime time slot. There's not too many good games this weekend as far as on the FBS level, but on the FCS HBCU level, we got some great games coming up, especially in D2. I don't know how I got up on D2, but damn it, that I think that was the best thing to do right there. Is to talk about Division II football, and I think it's more. Somebody said, I think Division II football sounds like a little bit more exciting than Division I football.
Well, I mean, this weekend, I mean, they have a bunch of great matchups. You know, I mean, you can't get no better than some of those matchups this weekend. You really can't.
Now is that Morgan State Towson game? Is that on television?
That's on Flow Sports.
Oh, okay, Flow Sports.
Mm-hmm. So I got to talk to my guy Bang, see well, he gonna be at the game anyway.
Just get them to send you a link, probably.
Yeah.
Is the Jackson State game on JSU TV or is it on Swag Digital Network? I'm trying to figure out because it don't have a sighting for it. I think it's
There's
on
no
JSU.
it's no media coverage for this.
No media coverage. So somebody gonna have to take some videos of this because I wouldn't know what to do.
Well, I mean, now Ken are probably gonna cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do it. I mean, with the new show, they'll do it probably.
I just go look at stats and everything.
Yeah. I mean, well, I asked my son to try to record.
He said it's Swag Digital Network. That's cool. Yeah. That means I can watch it on YouTube.
Okay. All right. But I can't get on the after show, Mr. Ford and Doc, because I'm actually going to the game tomorrow.
Okay.
So on my way back to the hotel, if y'all on, then I'll jump on in.
What time the game starts tomorrow? 6, right?
It's not until 6.
Yeah,
Shit. I probably ain't gonna go live till like 9:30.
Okay. All right. Well, soon as I leave the game, and if you on, I mean, I'll just turn my alert on, and once it ding me, then I know the game probably be over. Then I just go and leave the stadium. I get in my car and I'll be on.
Hey, how many more weeks is it before Southern plays Jackson?
Next
week. It's next week.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Big one.
And then a week after that, we in the hole.
You getting who?
We in the
Yeah,
hole.
we headed to the hole the week after. Week after that.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a sellout probably. It should be a pack out.
Yeah, because next week is Southern Heritage Classic, Boombox Classic. What's some other games? I know we got some other games next week. Yeah, so we got a whole slate of games. Make sure y'all check out on. If you got Flow Sports, check it out on Flow. Check your games on Flow Sports. ESPN.
I think, fam, you got a big game coming up in 2 weeks, don't they?
They got Troy State and then they got Alabama A&M.
Alabama. That's what I was thinking about. Alabama A&M. That's what I was thinking.
Now listen, that boombox is that gonna be 50,000 at the vet?
Easy.
Okay. All right.
It says 6 o'clock. Mr. Ford. That's going back old schools. Easy.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get on up out of here. So,
hey,
man, great show, fellas, man. I thank y'all, man.
Hey, Jacoby for the Heisman.
All right, let's get it. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Man, y'all have a good one. I'll be in the chat, man.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. Take care, man. Hey, great.
We had some fun tonight. shout out for everybody for staying with me and all the folks that's on Twitter. Make sure that you come on to the dark side and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Also check out the digital store on the YouTube page. And let me make sure let y'all know, see what y'all see, so y'all can see what I got. As you see, this is what we have right here. We got hoodies, we got shirts, different color hoodies right there with the platform logo. Also have hoodies with the avatar on there. Make sure you get your size. This is a trusted site. Everything is encrypted, so nobody's not going to steal your info and nothing like that. And first, probably gonna do some. I'm probably gonna go ahead and do a giveaway. So just let y'all know that is real, that is good, that is everything is cool. But yeah, make sure y'all check this out right here. Man, I'm gonna be at work, bro. I know the gang got moved over to DeSoto for tomorrow. I know it got moved over to DeSoto for tomorrow, but shoot. But yeah, man, we had a lot of fun tonight. Talked football, got our picks in, talked about matchups and everything, and then we're gonna do it all tomorrow. Do the recap. But other than that, like I said, shout out to first and foremost, shout out to everybody that joined me, that stayed on here afterwards. Everybody's over talk, watching Ken and Zoe. Also, shout out to my guy Nick, who got with the code countdown. If you haven't seen it, here you go.
Testing. All right. You can cut out that other.
Hey, yo, Yeah.
So he did that for me right there. So appreciate him for doing that. And let him give him a happy belated birthday, because his birthday was on Sunday during the Orange Blossom Classic. So happy 44th birthday to you, bro. Welcome to the club. But other than that, man, we had a good time. We had a great time. And like I said, y'all make sure y'all hit the donation button. Make sure you hit the button for the store. Hit the super chat. Shout out to, of course, always Deputy Mario. Man, letting everybody know. Make sure y'all help so we give me the fan for the FAMU game, because I'm gonna try to be in the house for that, y'all. I'm gonna try to be in the house for that. But yeah, man, it was a nice evening tonight. So I hope everybody have a good evening. Make sure tune in tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. But other than that, y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe. Hug your loved ones. Stay dangerous out there. We'll be back on this thing again 9:30 tomorrow night for the recap. Peace.